comes next. Look at yourself with hate like you're worse than all the rest. But just cause you hesitate doesn't make you any less. You may be broken, you think that you have strayed too far, but your scars don't define who you are. And the world may turn away, but it's because you're bright as the stars. Your chosen path. Look at yourself with spite like you always come up last. But just cause you have to fight doesn't mean you've been surpassed. You may be broken, you think that you have strayed too far, but your scars don't define who you are. And the world may turn away, but it's because you're bright as the stars. You may have fun, you fear you'll never reach the bar, but it's cause you're looking from afar. Even when you're miles away, you'll always shine as bright as the stars. That you have strayed too far, but your scars don't define who you are. And the world may turn away, but it's because you're bright as the stars. You may have fun, you fear you'll never reach the bar, but it's cause you're looking from afar. Even when you're miles away, you'll always shine as bright as the stars. Even though there's nothing wrong with it, they knock you down just for spite and break your courage for the fun of it. There's not much more you can take. You think you're gonna start to lose your mind, but there's just too much at stake. So getting back at them is wasting time. Just to give up, and that all your efforts are a waste. They tell you it's not enough, they'll scoff at you and then spit in your face. The pressure just won't let off, and nobody wants to see you win. But you refuse to back off, you keep on pushing, never giving in.
Well, hello, gamers. I did not pause that at the right time. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing today? Hello. Hi. What's up, chat?
What's going on?
I'm going to make chat
I'm
a
not doing
little
an
larger because we're doing...
I'm just doing dumb voices.
Today is pretty much just a chatting day. Because as you are aware, we are... I need to kind of adjust this a bit. We are indeed just kind of yapping about the finale. Welcome to what is essentially a podcast episode. Where you guys get to directly interact because we got chat on screen here. But let's go ahead. Wow, this is... Oh, wow. It's a good amount of people right now. Let's do
people.
Oh, wow. We got to do, we got to do the normal. Hi, cat lady. Hi, Rumai. Hello. Oh, that's just you. Hello. Oh, that's just you. I just see your name. I tried to say hello, Chaz. Oh, hello. Your fave Hamill fan. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy your stay. Thank you for subscribing. Hello, cat lady. Hello, James Madison, the 4th president. Hello, JJ Draws. Hello, K-Sans. Hello, Colton. Hello, Chiz. Hello, Internet Girl. Hello, Matt the Pilot. Hello, Michiato. I'm sorry. Michiato. Hello, Mom. Thank you for being here. Hello, K Creates Art. Hopefully I'm not missing anybody. I don't see any other names I did get to. I'm kind of stupid though. So hello everybody and welcome to the stream. Hi. All right. Yeah. So today is essentially just a podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. You all. Nobody's been asking for it, but we're here. We're doing it finally.
Exactly. Nobody
wanted this.
We are like intrusive AI, forcefully inserted by tech companies. Nobody asked for it. Nobody wanted it, but we're here anyways. So, probably never want to. Oh God, never mind. I don't want to compare myself to AI. Fucking pretend I never said that.
Robot.
Shut up, Leggy. Anyways, so. Hello, Ultra. I feel chuddy. I also feel chuddy. Our names are too hard.
K-Sans wanted the Star Wars yapping. Maybe one day.
Sorry. That one will be later. Today, it is the amazing digital circus yap session. So, should I be chatter for this? Would it be more appropriate to be chatter? I don't know. It's whatever.
Well, I mean, I don't have a theme. I can't make one.
Yeah.
Because
I could just whenever I so choose, I could just kind of like let me Why, it's me, everyone. I'm horribly offset.
If I could make one, I'd make one themed around Gangle because I love Gangle.
Okay. We're getting a lot of questions and such, but we got Søundbøx, not AI, but he's a robot, huh? I'm actually a robot, not powered by artificial intelligence because I'm not intelligent. I'm powered by sound, hence the name. Duh. All right.
See, I always thought the lore was that it's a human brain inside a robot body, GLaDOS style.
I don't know. I actually haven't made the lore yet, so let's just go with that.
I was going to say I always thought the lore.
Let's just go with that.
I
have to come up with some sort of lore. It's required. K-Sans created an entire like supervillain for me. Like I have to now. It's
okay.
I'm good at doing that. I do that consistently. Anyway.
Are you the voice actor? You sound
Finale was mid, 4 out of 10. No, that's incorrect.
Sorry.
Whoever said that, that you're getting banned.
That is the
I appreciate the kind gesture. I actually am the voice of Chatter in the Amazing Digital Wonderland.
Oh, shut up! Why, it's me, everyone! Oh, yeah, wait, I misread that. It's Leggy.
I should have assumed you won the voice acting. And we both look foolish. Okay, continue.
Alright, that's the stream. We're ending. Okay.
Okay, on the fucking episode.
Well, I mean, I do have a list of talking points, and the first talking point is thoughts on the finale. And that's exactly what we're getting asked in the chat. People are being like, how do we feel about the finale? What's the general takeaway? Personally, I think 12 out of 10. Like,
okay.
The finale itself, like Murder Drones has always been like my favorite glitch IP. It's just more of my style when it comes to the stupid, edgy humor. It's got the right amount of horror aspects to it. The only reason you don't see more of it on this channel and like in fan content that I'm doing is because, well, one, Insecurity is still in production since it's a much larger project. But two, is because I don't really do many of those impressions. I can't do a good N. The only one I can do is Thad, and he's a side character that gets dogged on all the time. So it's like you don't see a lot of it. But Murder Drones for the long time has been like plopped at the very top. It's taken the throne. With this final episode, with this finale, I cannot say Digital Circus has completely usurped it. I can't say that it's moved it off the throne, but it's definitely popped a squat right beside it. And it's like squished itself on the throne. Like we share in this sucker now. I think it is such a... It's just a very well-crafted story. And that finale, I mean, I posted on Blue Sky. I'll say it again. I saw it twice in theaters before its YouTube release, and then I watched the premiere on the YouTube release while I was editing stuff together. It hit just as hard. I was almost in tears again. Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
I am not the main character, K-Sans. That's just false.
That's me, everyone! Anyways.
So anybody who's here because they know me or like are part of my friend group know that I am going to bring this stream down.
I mean, you got a good diverse set of opinions. Soundbox loved the finale, easy 12 out of 10 for him. For me, there's a couple things I think it could have done better. Overall, 9 out of 10. I still loved it, but I didn't love it as much as Soundbox.
And I'm gonna give it a solid 7 out of 10, so you guys can see that.
7.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but
5,
I have issues. I have issues, and I'll get into them later. But I'm gonna be respectful. I'll say, I did cry both times I watched it. Okay, so I'm gonna put that out there.
57.
Okay?
7. Interesting.
But we can have a respectful discussion about this though. So it's okay.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're here to do. So.
Yo, who the fuck is the robot? Where is the mad chatter?
I'm right here. For the last time.
Hello, my little mewing milkmaids! I have been summoned!
Loved it a lot.
Is this what you wanted? Oh, you get it now!
Finale was... Okay, I'm not reading that chat message.
What is it? The finale was a 6 out of 7.
First time watching the
yeah.
I hope it won't be my last. So thank you, James. It's great to have you here. I still find it weird that they released the Pomni popcorn bucket after they put it in theaters. I mean, how so?
That is weird. I think that should have been something like if you buy popcorn at the theater, you get the bucket.
My biggest issue is that people are scalping the crap out of them now.
Ugh. I'm glad I bought my poster.
Yeah. Dude, oh my lord, I loved it a lot. I never liked Jax as much as I liked the other characters. To be honest, I never understood his character at all. But his backstory did explain to me why he acts the way he does. The finale was about a 6 out of 7. It's mid. Okay, I'm sorry. That's just the wrong opinion to have. Get out.
True.
I think it's the wrong way of approaching the topic. We can say in your opinion it was mid, but to say it's overall mid is not necessarily objectively true.
It's peak.
Well, I can say from a writing perspective, it is not mid. It's actually really good.
Hello, welcome in, Cantaloupe Lover.
Because like a lot of the arguments that I've seen for why the finale was mid either revolve around people just didn't like Jax to begin with, or people just didn't understand what was going to happen because they weren't paying attention to the show that came beforehand. So
yeah,
if you guys would like to know my opinion, though, I feel like maybe not you rambles, but Soundbox would definitely probably just be able to tell from my PFPs, or they're always changing. But I definitely I'm a big Jax fan.
What? I would have never guessed.
You would have never noticed. So I'm a big Jax fan, but I feel like that's why I can have a nuanced opinion on the finale, because like Jax was my favorite character from the show. He obviously got the most screen time in the finale. So the fact that I'm still calling it a 7 out of 10, there's something there, right? But I'll get to it when we get like into the weeds of it. But And I will once again say I loved the finale. I watched it. I cried. I just think the more I think about it, the more kind of grievances I have with it, which I mentioned off stream briefly.
But that's why we
Yeah.
discuss it here. So we
That's
can
why we
discuss
discuss it,
those issues, because maybe there'll be a perspective that changes your view on something. And you're like, oh, never
Yeah,
mind. It's now an
absolutely.
8 out of 10. Or it's like, oh, that's worse. Never mind. 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'll go.
some people, I've seen them change their tune like that in both directions. It can happen once people start to formulate their own opinions. But that's why we formulate our own opinions.
Absolutely.
But
I feel
yeah.
like, well, what do you want to talk about first then?
Well, the first thing was just thoughts on the finale in general. So the way that the finale has kind of impacted the world. That's just like
Oh,
the
as a
overall
cultural phenomenon.
huh?
Like as a cultural like phenomenon.
Pretty much. This because this thing has been just. I don't think anybody could have anticipated how much of an effect this story had globally. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it just there's so many metrics that you could look at to just kind of gauge how much engagement it got. How many people are so involved with this? I mean, for one, it just completely shat on Disney and everything that they
So
have.
true.
Like, Star Wars what? I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Like, no, we
yeah.
can't do a Star Wars yap because we got Digital Circus to yap about. I mean, come on. It's
Plus,
just,
Star Wars sucks now.
Exactly. Disney Wars, boo. It's like Mandalorian.
More
and
like the
Grogu.
mid-DeLorean.
You beat me to it. Mid-DeLorean Mandalorian Grogu. Theaters bombed compared to the Digital Circus. Like, globally, that sucker made so much freaking money. It is insane. It's like, Glitch is eating good. It's crazy. I'm getting ads. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because this is a yap stream and not a game stream. I decided
Guys,
to
he's
leave
using you for money.
I have the
He's
ads
using you for
automator
money.
on at the minimum amount it will give it to you. I set it to the lowest possible.
That's
But
what they all say.
I-
That's what they all say.
I don't want to get into details because things aren't looking the best for me at my job, and I kind of need to make sure I have, money. So I
Dangle,
apologize.
Okay, so let's continue.
I apologize for the advertisements. Just get an ad blocker. uBlock Origin is free. Okay, so the global impact this thing had is insane. Nobody can really deny that.
Yeah.
The question is, how's it impacted us individually? What are y'all like? What are y'all's kinds of mindsets on this? Like, how has this series kind of changed you? Because I know this series has definitely changed my life in a pretty drastic way.
For me, weirdly, it hasn't really changed much. I enjoyed the show just as a fan, pretty much, and I didn't do anything with the show, so I obviously didn't gain anything off of it. I didn't make new friendships because of this show. It was more I got to have very good in-depth discussions with the friends that I already had, and bond with a couple of existing friends.
Friendships. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you. Yeah.
Oh, I've gotten a whole lot in. I got a whole new friend group.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, I could go on. I could go on for hours about that alone. Just the whole the journey that this series has put me on. Like I'm one of those people. I have to say it. If it was not for Digital Circus, I would not have an audience right now. Y'all, none of you guys would be here, except for Mars and Leggy. I mean, like, those of you in chat. Those of you speaking in chat and watching the stream, none of y'all would be here. Let's be real. Y'all would never have heard of me. Y'all wouldn't really care. What's up, Work in Progress? Welcome to the stream. Y'all probably wouldn't really care. You just see some dude. I wouldn't even have this robot OC. Like
Some
my
moron.
some Moran. I wouldn't have like I wouldn't have my channel avatar. I wouldn't have the setup that I have now. I wouldn't be monetized. I'd probably still be like trying to struggle to reach 1,000 subscribers at all. I'd have less than Leggy still. So it's like, what do we do?
What the stray? Oh my god!
You just got fucked up.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You went for the
I had to let one loose real quick.
Yeah, you best
Oh
hope you
no!
don't
I
have to
just
take a
now
break.
realized it's. I hate. Why is that the default? I'm just now realizing why chat seems to be kind of behind on the discussion a little bit is because the stream latency is set to normal latency instead of low latency.
I was wondering because I was looking. I was like, damn, this is quite behind, like compared to how it usually is. Anyway,
Yeah, I normally have it set to low latency, and no, YouTube just said, nah, you can suffer. Sorry,
Can we
chat.
fix that, or is that?
Once you start streaming, once you are live, that you have to keep it as is. The most I could do is hit the stop stream and start a new one, and we're not doing that.
Nah, that's not worth it. That's not worth it.
But yeah,
Just-
so yeah, I wouldn't have the friends I have now. Like literally, the entirety of my audience, my career right now wouldn't exist because my most prominent projects are Digital Wonderland, Murder Drones Insecurity. There's a bunch of other ones that I don't know if I want to, talk about right now, just because I don't want to. There's been a couple of Digital Circus songs I've been part of, the visual novel, the original series I'm part of, Gamma Girl and Friends, like all of this stuff that I'm having a lot of fun with. The only things I would shut the hell up, Leggy. The only things I would have right now are the Versus Leggy mod and the Five Nights at Freddy's stuff that I do. And that's it. I would still be a no-name nobody. I'd still look like I'd still look like this. This would be me. This was my PNG. This is what I used to use.
Are you showing Thorn? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I'm showing Thorn. This is what I used to use. This would be what I would be using right now.
Great. Come on.
I mean, he is. It's pretty funny, but like, it's just one of those things that like, I would not at all be close to what I have now, and I am so beyond grateful that I'm just like I have this, even if it's just a small fraction of what some people have in their lives, what some people are able to achieve. It's still like I have been part of. I've seen I've seen different creators suddenly blow up. I was actually just
too.
I was recommended somebody's channel yesterday out of the blue, because they were doing a Five Nights at Freddy's stream, and they had about I want to say like 7,000 subscribers. They were nearing 8, or not 7. They had 7,000 subscribers. Then I look at their channel now because I was like, oh, I'm a simple-minded person. I see Five Nights at Freddy's, I click, and then I liked the content, so I subscribed. Their channel, if I double check right now, is currently sitting at 9.32K. That is, they've skyrocketed in subscribers over the past 24 hours. Like that kind of growth is something I would love to have, but I have this, and this is enough for me.
As well as how my 1K is enough for me, so I don't appreciate you degrading.
Hey, listen.
Look, 7's cool by me, so.
Yeah, look. Now I'm playing.
Listen.
Nothing's ever enough for me.
You listen. All I'm saying is there was a time you were like, let's get this guy to 300. So,
Yeah.
There was some low blow.
So
there was
you're
some
gonna be
low
like,
blows
let's get
from
this
your
guy
end.
to 3,000, right? You're gonna do the same for me, right? Because I did it for you.
Let's get this guy to
1.1K.
Let me. Look,
I'm already at 1.1K.
How much do you have? How much?
I don't know how much you have.
I have 1,190, I think. That could be wrong.
1,190.
Let's get this guy to 1.2K.
Let's get this guy to 1.2K, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, I'm on 1.19. Listen, point is that's okay. That's okay.
Can I ban full moon? Can I ban full moon for that message? That'd be funny if I could do that.
6. No. Sorry, I'm sorry you can't appreciate peak comedy.
I'm sorry, I can't appreciate meaningless fucking numbers.
No, you're right. It needs to be 5-7. Get it right. This is a digital circus stream. 5.
We're like
Fight
an
that
actual
bed.
podcast. We're so off topic.
Well, okay,
We
here's
are.
the thing: is that I made that announcement. I talked about it, anticipating like, we're talking about digital circus. I'm probably gonna get a couple of Wonderland people in here, like maybe 1 or 2 of them. I might get like a couple of different friends. I have like my buddy who is typically my coworker. He's pretty chill. I thought he was gonna be here too.
You knew I'd be here.
I knew you'd be here, and Leggy from your DMs, I knew you'd be here. You're the only 2 that showed up, so we have a lot more leeway. Because I anticipated the stream to be like, I don't know, 3.5 hours at longest.
I'd argue if there was any more here, we'd still be in the intro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, okay, we need to make sure we stay on topic. But if it's just the 3 of us, I mean, we have plenty of time to yap. It's not like there's a hard time limit. It's just like going too off topic on certain, especially because there's certain topics that I don't really want to try to touch due to their nature. So like,
Controversy trademark.
Exactly. So I think I'm good on talking about certain aspects. If somebody else brings it up, that's on you. I will not be putting much of my input on it. Like, you are allowed to.
I thought about addressing the elephant in the room, but no.
Yeah, no, you're allowed to like what you like. I like not getting canceled for no reason. So I'm gonna keep it $1.50.
And I like having no idea what you guys are referring to, and that's
we're gonna keep it that way for now.
Earlier.
We'll keep it like yeah. All right. Right, the way that the entire show has impacted us. I have an audience. That's how it's impacted me. I actually have I went to a Level Up Expo. I'm handing stuff out, and people are coming up to me. Can you sign this for me? Can you get this picture? I made this poster, like the fan art and stuff. Like, somebody literally made a hand drew, it was digital art, but they hand drew it, their own custom, digital Wonderland poster. And they came up to me, Landon, and Snoopy, and they were like, "Can you sign this?" I'm just like, it's just like, it is crazy. It's one of those things that I obviously I'm struggling to put it into words now because of like how it's one of those feelings you can't beat it. It makes me so happy. Like I'd have that much of an impact on somebody's life that they're like, I want this person's autograph. You're so nice.
The way it has affected me is I now have a streamer that I can publicly harass at least 1 day a week, usually.
Yeah.
or take over the channel if need be.
So true.
Nothing's changing, chat. I want y'all to know this is our normal interactions. It's just now we can turn it into content.
Yeah. This is just how we hang out before Søundbøx got massive streaming numbers.
Can't even say it's massive. We have
it is massive compared to like what your average small streamer gets.
My average small streaming numbers back then were like 3 or 4, maybe like about 5 or 7 viewers if I was lucky.
Well, no, just go to Twitch and sort by new.
Fair enough.
And you're gonna be pulling pretty big numbers regularly compared to a lot of those people.
Yeah. But I don't know, Leggy, if you have anything to add to that point. How much has Digital Circus impacted your life?
Sure. Okay. I can't say I've grown any form of audience or like I've made new friendships. I'd definitely say like I've had friendships that have gotten stronger because of the show. It's definitely, there's elements of the show where I've, let's say, picked up on a trait from a character or whatever, and I've like noticed how it applies, like almost like in a weird sense how it applies to my own life and way. And whatnot. And it's good at like making me more self aware of my own actions, which is nice. I guess okay. I'll say this is more broadly with the whole cultural impact we were talking about. As someone who down the line wants to make like a pilot or a show or whatever, it's very inspiring to see an indie show go to cinemas to where it's even in a local cinema like near me and whatever. It's like, wow, we got here like through an indie show that was just on YouTube for free.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy and it's inspiring and it gives me hope that like I'm never obviously I'm never saying that I'm going to compare myself or that I will ever reach the height, but it at least puts some level of confidence in that no matter like where the start is, you can still go to crazy places, and that's inspiring.
Real.
5-7.
Soundbox,
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna strangle him.
Genuinely, I'm going to end your life.
I mean,
I watched that pop up as I was talking on the stream, like despite the stream latency, and I nearly
what is it?
froze in my seat.
I forgot the font. I just want to put this in there as a joke and just make it really small, put it in the corner. But like, I forgot that the font I like to use for Digital Circus related stuff. I was listening, by the way, but it's like the font I use for Digital Circus stuff doesn't have 5, the character 5. I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay, Soundbox. I was like just kind of relaying my whole personal attachment.
I was listening. I multitask
in the industry. Yeah, bro.
I feel like we should talk about 5-7 though, because I saw somebody saying some dumb shit about
really
that,
funny?
where it's like,
it's in my notes. Like later down the line. I literally just my stream talking points. I got another one after like the way it's impacted us, and then it's just 57. So we'll get there.
Okay.
I'm
We'll
trying
get
to find
there.
it. I'm
Well-
trying to find a goofy like a font I like. Okay, that's good. And then
I have very particular thoughts
Wait, that's
about
the font
the
we
5-7
use versus-
thing.
That like font you're using right now, I'd have to check with Mikkel, but I'm like 90% sure that's the font we use in versus Leggy. Oh wait, you swapped it. Oh, never mind. Sorry.
there, okay, sorry, I had to
You ruined it.
wait. Let's put it there.
Oh.
Actually, no. Let's make it funny. We're gonna hide it in. It's too small. I can't move it. We're gonna hide it somewhere. Where do we hide the 5-7 chat?
Put it by Kinger.
Oh wow. Wait. He's holding the butterfly. No, he's holding the 5-7.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta make it smaller so it's more subtle.
You could probably like fuck with the opacity a bit as well.
Nah. I want it to be fully opaque.
Hide it in Leggy.
Now let's be reasonable. Let's be reasonable. Just because
Alright.
I'm like
then I have to put
very
it-
white doesn't mean
I have to put
I
it
have the
under
palest
the
motherfucker
chat.
here.
I have to put it under the chat. That way the layer. Okay. Now it's very difficult to see, but Kinger is holding. Oh wait, no, it's.
guys, unlike Soundbox, my OC actually has a lore reason for looking like that. So clap in the chat, guys. Thank you.
Why is it so like stuck magnetized? Is that better? Is it in place better? No. This was supposed to be a funny bit, but OBS is being stupid. Guys, OBS is bullying me. I gotta make
I would
it
say call it
tiny.
homophobic, but I don't think you can get away with that.
Yeah, probably not. Oh god, I don't want to move chat. No.
Lock chat. Lock the layer.
Okay, I meant to. I thought it was. Okay.
Skill issue, I guess, then.
No, you.
I mean...
You're built like a skill issue. You look convoluted! Alright, we got this. We'll get back on topic here in just a moment. I'm just like trying to... I
we
literally
won't, Chad.
just
Don't
locked
listen
it.
to him.
What are you doing?
Y'all, I'm a daydream. Wake me up when Soundbox is back on point.
Okay, we're good.
Hold on, here comes the clouds. Whoa.
Okay. Okay, we're good. Shut up. Shut up. He's holding a 57.
Uh-huh.
All that
But we were-
effort.
All
All that
right.
effort for, by the way, a point we're not even going on to next.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well, I guess we could because the next one is reflecting on favorite moments. But I wanted to take a moment to try to see if we could find how many 57s we could find in the series, or at least how many 57s we are aware of. Because I know it's everywhere, but
I don't care. That's how many I found.
give a
I
fuck.
don't care.
it's funny.
How is it funny? I don't know how it's funny.
Cause stupid numbers.
I'm missing the
funny.
joke.
I'm a simple-minded man. I have the simple-minded joke brain. So something that is just it's stupid is funny.
Okay, but how is it even stupid? It's just two numbers.
57.
Soundbox,
Okay.
what age are you? Tell the chat what age you are.
25.
Okay.
Thank you, Soundbox.
Yeah. And I'm a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
Fight me. I like being a kid. Not really, but
You might be a grown ass man, but you add 5 and 7 together, and that's your IQ, I guess.
My frontal lobe is not fully developed, but I'm also an adult now, so
Mars, don't give me that much credit. Okay. The next point is reflecting on favorite moments in the show as a whole. But it could be in the finale, but in the show as a whole,
Sure.
This show has so many highlight sections. There's just so much about it.
Yeah.
It's like you can go back and watch it, and you don't even have to have the full context. You just see the images, and you get a little it brings a tear to your eye. I mean, just thinking about episode 9, I'm like, oh man, oh wow.
Cliche as it is, my favorite moment in the entire series is I don't want to go.
That one gets so sad.
I couldn't. I couldn't sit through it a second time without sobbing.
breaks the fourth wall and looks at the chat. Get a lot of these losers. You're never gonna guess what my favorite moment is.
What is it? What is it, Lakey? What is it? What's your favorite moment?
Probably one of them. Okay, probably actually the torture scene in episode 8.
The amazing digital crash out.
Yeah. I'm gonna put you freaks in your place.
Yeah, probably that, or the scene where he's talking with Bubble in his office before the crash, and he comes to the realization. They're just very, very powerful, moments in the show. And particularly with the torture thing, I think it's very interesting that we almost get some kinds of lore drops through the actual methods. I like that a lot.
The amount of setup.
Not crazy ones, but very. It's just cool. It's just cool.
The writing is very well done. The amount of setup and stuff for it, leading to what was in the finale, it was just very well crafted. I mean, the crazy thing too is you look back at it, the answers were laid out in front of us the entire time.
Yep.
From episode 1. How do I leave? We don't exactly. You can't.
Okay, you're acting like that was deep, but that was always it was always established, but that's not necessarily a
Well, yes, but it was kind of, it's funny because it was straight up laid out in front of us. None of us really took it seriously, and they didn't even really take it
everybody was
100%
like,
seriously.
you can leave. You can leave. It's no, they said straight up, you can't leave.
Straight up, you can't leave. I mean, that's what
as
you
Tommy
think about it.
said,
That's one of the reasons Kane could never really give an answer on how to leave. It wasn't that just that he was trying to keep them there. They're brain scans. They cannot leave. They cannot physically exit the circus.
You know what, Soundbox, just add this to your notes if you haven't already got it there. I would love to have a debate on what abstraction actually is. Not thematically, but actually is in show.
I could give you a couple of different answers there.
But
Right
that's
off
the point.
rip.
There's a couple different answers. That's kind of what I would like to have a debate about that because
I like Alex Roshan's take on it.
I haven't seen it, so I'm sorry. I can't. I can't. Say anything there.
Here, I could just straight up read it because he put it on Blue Sky.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have seen this either.
Oh, right. Also, something I forgot to mention, some fun facts we got. People were saying, I think we need to abandon the idea of finding out what happens when Jax holds his breath, posting that Pomni picture where it's like, I think we need to abandon the idea of leaving. Gooseworks confirmed he fucking inflates. Like, he holds his breath and he just... like a fucking balloon. All right, let me find the post. Let me find the post here. But I like this take on it, and I think it's a pretty good take. Now, I want to preface that this is not me. This is no one saying abstraction is not permanent. Let me make something clear. Abstraction is absolutely permanent, and anybody that's saying otherwise, I'm sorry, you're hard on that copium. Hard on it. I know Gooseworks has gone on record to say things that are technically, they're falsehoods. They're not 100% truths. But the matter of fact is, until we see something that directly confirms otherwise, it is
basically until we get like hard canon.
Yeah, it's like there is like I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh my god, the ADHD brain just triggered so hard. What was I just saying?
You're talking about abstraction being permanent.
Right. Until we see something that suggests otherwise directly in front of us, like Gooseworks saying, oh yeah, there's going to be no musical numbers in the show. We got 2 musical numbers. One of them you could say isn't technically a musical number. We got 2 musical numbers. Gooseworks said something about like, oh yeah, no ships are canon in the show. Abstraction. Come on. They literally be doing the sexo at the end of the series. It's like abstraction gets an ad. Also, hello, Ginger the Jester. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, it's like it's just one of those things where until we see otherwise in the show, we have to take what Goose says like up front. Because she has confirmed some things. She has given us some certain tidbit, like Jax fucking inflates. We got Kaufmo and Ribbit's original names, Doug and Leah. Like we're getting all these little bits of information post show that like, oh yeah, these are cool facts. So like we kind of have to take what Gooseworks says as fact, even if it's like it could be wrong, because there's nothing else for the show to show us otherwise.
My other thing is like, the unfortunate part of that is like what in terms of like what Goose has said, what is a joke and what is actually true?
Yeah.
Because Goose likes to joke a lot.
I always thought like before we had episode 5, I had assumed Jack's afraid of corn was a pretty obvious joke, but like that was clearly interpreted into the show. So it's very hard to actually tell what Goose genuine.
What is Goose being serious about when she posts on her fucking Twitter and Blue Sky?
I mean, there's also there's also details and stuff that like we got them through jokes, but they were also confirmed to be actual in like Ask Me Anythings and stuff. I know I'm the only one here that's part of the Glitch In, but I can't remember what exactly it was, but like small little facts that people joke about, they actually come from Glitch In stuff or like from interviews. Like for instance, Pomni's favorite meal being salmon. That's an actual thing, and if you look at the final scene, as she eats at the Digital Circus Last Supper, because I'm sorry, I still love that freaking stupid audio bite. You see, Pomni is Digital Circus's equivalent to Jesus Christ. That stuff is so stupid, but yeah, freaking she's eating salmon.
We have more theories to solve.
She's eating salmon. But yeah, no, it's like that kind of stuff. We get all these little facts and tidbits and stuff, and it's like it can come off as jokes or it could be seen as something that's just goofy. But they're what we have to go off of, and there are times where they just turn out to be true. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe things change during production. I don't know. Back to the abstraction thing, because I finally have the post up. I like Alex's take on it. Abstraction isn't necessarily a one-to-one allegory for death by I don't want to get me demonetized, so sewer sliding
Sure,
so
we
much
got it,
as
we got it.
it's like losing oneself in any kind of mental health spiral, including addiction. How everyone visits Jax and the other abstractions also reminds me of visiting a loved one in a long-term care or inpatient treatment. And then he goes on to say, just to clarify, I never said abstraction is or isn't reversible. Goose previously stated abstraction is permanent. What I wrote is more to say that abstraction is functionally its own thing, and it reminds me of a number of topics that aren't necessarily death or unaliving yourself. Hello, and
permanent.
Dorman, welcome to the stream.
Conscious in a sense when they abstract, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, it's abstraction is kind of like its own thing.
It's a loss of identity more so.
Yeah,
than,
it's really losing yourself and just like letting yourself spiral
in the
into
music, in the moment even.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't you ever let it go.
What were you talking about? Reflecting on favorite moments.
We're talking about Eminem.
Oh yeah. I had a couple other ones that I wanted to discuss. I'm trying to remember what those are.
Oh, you need to pull up the show and find some of them.
We don't have time for that.
We have.
We don't
It's
have time to sit here and watch the whole fucking show again.
We don't have to watch the whole show. You can just skim through for your favorite moments and talk about them.
My favorite moments are like dialogue moments. I have to
That's
remember what the
fair.
line was, and I don't even fully remember where each line was.
But yeah, it's like I know one of my favorite moments in the whole show has got to be. Hold on, I got.
Oh, at the end when they're watching Kane's presentation, I love the way that Gangle looks over at Zubul with that big smile on her face.
Yes,
It's so cute.
so cute.
I love Gangle so much.
Oh my
And
goodness.
then also my this is the last one for the finale. I
Hello,
don't know
Yellow Cake.
why, but like I love and hate the fight between Ribbit and Jax on the mountaintop.
Oh, that one is so painful.
That one
hurts.
actually like straight up triggered me.
It
But also it was so like well written.
reality is gay.
Yeah.
I love it's one of my favorite things about the whole show. Side tangent, real quick. I promise I'll bring it back. It's freaking the fact that like I've heard Michael say it so many times. Like his experiences with the show is just looking at the script, being like, "Wow, that's a crazy line to say," and I get to say it. Like, it's so amazing. But yeah, that whole mountaintop argument, that one definitely hurt. Like,
Notice for anybody who wants to go back and watch the scene, notice how Jax is talking over Ribbit the whole time.
Yup. It's like they're just shouting each other down. He's not trying. He doesn't want to listen. He doesn't want to open up because he's already done that before. And it's crazy because it reflects directly on like what happened with him and his mom. Oh, we dropped frames for a moment. Uh-oh. I hope that does not persist.
Because you dropped the topic soundbox. That's why.
You know what, Leggy? You know what, Leggy?
What?
You're small.
I'm not like what, as in like short or as in like on the street?
Tiny.
You like made me smaller.
Tiny.
Have you made me smaller?
And I could if I wanted to, but no, you're just small right now.
I mean, I've always my
Tiny.
little avatar there.
Tiny.
Yeah.
Small man, short.
You know what? You know what? Then
Shorty,
I rub my hands together. I crack my knuckles. I go, now let's get into some of my issues with the finale.
And that's where I pick you up like the football-sized creature you are and punt you across the field.
I am 6 foot, Soundbox. Okay, don't say.
So you're the shortest one here, is what you're saying.
Oh.
Actually, it's funny though. I am 6 foot as well, so we're the same height. But Mars,
I'm 6'2".
6'2".
Well, I'm not done growing yet, so you know.
Buddy, I'm sorry. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
buddy.
Your brain continues to develop all the way until you're like 25.
So why is yours regressing? Now let's get back to the.
Because
it's done growing.
Because I'm
he's
done
25.
growing. I'm 25.
There's nowhere for it to go but down now.
You've leveled out. You can stop talking down to me now because you've leveled out. You're back to the brain of an 18-year-old.
No, I can't help talking down to you because you're so short.
That's 6 foot. Is not short. He's not short.
No, you see, all I gotta do is all I gotta do is put on my normal boots, and now you're shorter. You're the shortest in the group. So.
Oh my god. Actually, that's.
It was so wild being taller than Søundbøx when we met up in real life in 2024.
You give off very small, and you do give off small energy, and then you loom over people. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I remember when I met Søundbøx, I like kicked the shit out of him. It was really cool. Anyway,
you're so funny. You know, yeah, you do realize.
Okay, but mine wasn't a joke though.
Guys, I was trying to actually get into a critique. Oh my god.
But what? Back to the argument on the hilltop, on the mountaintop. That definitely hit me because I've been in similar situations where it's like I'm trying to hear somebody else. I'm trying to hear somebody out. I'm trying to reach out to them, and they are just shutting me down on every account. They don't want to open up. They don't, and it's like somebody I'd care about in my personal life, and it's just. I mean, I've not been in a situation where they are so closed off that they don't eventually warm up and open up at some point. But like to see that kind of a thing where somebody opens up to you in such a personal way, and then because they're embarrassed by it, they kind of shut down and isolate. I have seen that happen. I've had that happen, and go
ahead. Sorry.
It hits me in the feels very hard, and it doesn't help that it directly reflects the It's not the exact 1-to-1, but it does kind of reflect the way that Jax crashed out on Pomni. It's similar. They're not 1-to-1, but it's quite similar where somebody's touched a nerve with Jax, and now he's popping off in a way that is just all he's doing is trying to shove them down and make them feel belittle them as much as possible, in a way that's like, you don't actually know me. You've never known me, and the fact that you think you do, you're stupid. It's just because he's trying to put up those walls so hard. It's just
For me, it's the situation of like arguing with somebody, and they're talking over you the whole time, and at the end, you're the one that has to apologize. That I've been in that exact situation before, and that argument triggered the fuck out of me. It's so like perfectly written, and it goes into like why I think that Jax as a character is written so well, because it's like on the one hand, it's explained why he is the way that he is, and you can to an extent sympathize with being trapped in the cycle of abuse, but at the same time it doesn't excuse his actions, because those are his actions. That was still his choice. He is still a fucking asshole, and what he's getting is not a redemption arc so much as it is kind of an explanation and closure as to what his character was. And that's what I really like about the finale as a whole, is that like it's not absolving Jax of his mistakes, but it is providing closure to the audience as to like why he's such a fucking piece of shit. It's something where you can understand and to an extent empathize or even sympathize, but you don't necessarily have to forgive him.
I just had Blaze Light Zero pointed something out really interesting, and I gotta fact check this. But they've pointed out that the bowling ball that was in Kaufmo's room was the one that was in Ribbit's.
That is true. Yeah.
I also like the theme of like the more cheerful and like happy version of Jax being chained to the piano.
Yeah.
Not just for the fact that he's chained to the piano, but the fact that it's a piano specifically has some thematic implications. I can't like fully elaborate on what they are. I can't articulate, I guess, rather, effectively. But anybody who like knows what I'm talking about will understand what I mean by the significance of a piano.
It's So I'm at a loss for words at this point, because it's kind of like going back and thinking about these moments. It always just hits me in a way that like I start to you know.
Another one of my favorite moments is when fucking Ragatha plugs the gun and Jax and blasts Jax.
You know, it's just I really did think that would work. And they just unloads the whole fucking clip. Oh, the Looney Tunes logic, like the tune logic that this show likes to employ is amazing. I'm trying to see where that bowling ball is in Ribbit's room right now. I want to see that for myself, because if I don't see it, I gotta make sure. I gotta fact check. It's right. Oh my! It is there. Oh. Ah.
I mean,
That
throughout
hurts.
the montage of Jax like having his abstraction thing is like, twice he goes to Ribbit's door to knock and try to apologize, and he just can't go through with it.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where he's just slowly shutting himself up or shutting himself off from everything as much as possible, and it's so painful to watch, because it's just.
I also
oh.
love
Have a
I
good
also
one,
love during
Ramatai.
that sequence. I love during that sequence the way that Michael delivers the line, "Why am I such an idiot? Why am I such an idiot?"
I know, it's like it hurts. Like. The thing that really sucks too is just like I can't even articulate into words. It's just
See you, Ty.
goodbye. Guess you can still hang out with mommy after all, right, Rags?
Right,
Oh, yeah.
Rags.
That one. After seeing all the stuff, like after knowing the backstory, it's like, oh, you projecting asshole. Oh my goodness. Like, I sympathize for Jax. I really do. But the motherfucker had it coming. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
He got
that
what
is
he fucking
chose.
deserved.
Exactly. Like, what goes around comes around. And I think this is a point that you've made a couple of times, and it's something that I also noticed, and like I very much stand by, Mars, is Jax being the one to abstract, Jax being the next one on the list of people to abstract was
I think I
was
called it as far back as episode 3.
You did, and it's because of a Kinger line, and it's rung true with me the entire. Like I was like, that's got to be it. And
Making
lo and
feel
behold,
someone feel unloved.
is
it that one?
yes,
Yeah.
he said something along the lines of the worst thing you could do to somebody is make them feel unwanted and unloved. And that's exactly what he does to everybody. He connects really close to he connects with Kafo. He connects really close to Ribbit. They bond, but he shares something super personal. Past trauma, he starts to be like, oh, that's exactly, like, it's going to be the same thing. And so he just shuts her out, and he starts making her feel terrible and leads her to abstraction, which is crazy. And then does the same to Kaufmo, is horrible to Gangle the moment she pops up in the circus, is horrible to, like, starts just bullying and being terrible to everyone there that was nice to him and was trying to be there for him in his moment of struggle because, he's a new person in the circus. Like,
You want to know something? You want to know something? Like one of my favorite lines is, I think, in episode 6, when Jax exclaims how terrible it is to be around people who are about to abstract.
Yeah, that's another
And
thing,
the
too.
irony in that line,
like, they are not pleasant to be around, like, at all. And I'm like, buddy, you are the most miserable person to be around in this entire circus.
like the fucking lack of self-awareness.
Be realistic, bro. Gangle's in the show. And okay, I'm stop.
I love Gangle, and I'm going to beat you to death with hammers if you say anything bad about her.
Gangle is based and precious. We all love Gangle here.
So true. So true.
We all love Gangle. Absolutely. Absolutely. I love Gangle.
Leggy, you got something to say?
I love Gangle.
You got a problem? You got beef?
Leggy, you got something to say? Don't worry, this is an open discussion. I will shield you.
Maybe I'd appreciate Gangle more if I had a 9 to 5, Søundbøx.
Oh my goodness, that's right. Because we have had this conversation, haven't we?
We have.
Oh my goodness. So the thing with Gangle, I've had this conversation with Leggy, is being able to relate to Gangle on a personal level, especially when it comes to like the trying to have those personal dreams, those personal aspirations, and then like the constant like you just need to give up and stop trying, just get your typical 9 to 5 and become a corporate slave like everybody else. It's like that that is very relatable to me, and like I love Gangle as a character. I relate to her arc immensely, and just and this motherfucker over here, this white like what
You got a
is
problem with
this?
white people, Soundbox?
Yeah, because I am one.
You can still be. Okay, we're not gonna get into this topic.
Blue hoodied snowball looking motherfucker said, "Yeah, Gangle's kind of mid, honestly. I don't really understand her." I'm like, oh my goodness.
I would never say mid, but okay, sure.
What did you? No, go ahead. Say it. You know what? Let's hear your piece about Gangle, because even though you have somebody here willing to murder you with hammers, I will put up the shield for as long as this stream goes on. So this is a safe space to talk about.
Oh, my hero. Soundbox.
Afterwards, you're on your own. But
So okay, here's my issue with Gangle. I understand, and here's the thing. I'll give you a bit more leeway. Okay, so there's a lot of people who hate Jax, right? There's a lot of people who hate Jax because Jax is a shit person, does shit things, yada yada yada, right? Okay, but I don't hate Jax. I love Jax because I can relate to having done similar mistakes in my own life, and it gives me a character that I can almost latch onto in a way and relate to. Okay. So I can openly admit I don't have the experience to relate to Gangle in my life. Okay. I don't. Okay. But that leaves me, which I feel like it's fair to say this is a general critique with the show then, which would also apply to Jax as well. But that could just be people having a lack of media literacy. Anyway, that leaves me with Gangle, and I just can't help but see Gangle as a very whiny character, not unjustified, but a very whiny character who their voice also annoys me a lot. But that's just a personal gripe. That's not really like a thing I can say overall is a problem with the show, because clearly a lot of people don't have that issue. But the character's just not for me. I don't necessarily like. They're also, the character doesn't really go anywhere without like I feel like Zuma's character goes somewhere. No, well, listen. Okay. No, hold on.
I'm gonna let you. Yeah. I'm gonna let you go on. I'll let you.
Okay, listen. They learn to be happier, even with the sad mask, right? That's their arc. Is that what we're saying? That I'm looking.
It's a little bit more complicated than that.
Yeah. Okay. Well. All right. Okay. Because this is what I'm saying. Because I can't relate to it, I can't find that inner thing where it's a lack of media literacy on my end, most likely. But I'm just saying I don't jive with the character all that much because I don't understand the character from that deep personal level, in the same way that I do with Jax, right? Which is not necessarily a critique of the character specifically or the show, but I can just personally relate to a character that I've had more experience with, and whatnot. Does this mean they are objectively a bad character? Absolutely not. Does this mean they're objectively a mid character? Even though I never said mid. Okay, let me just say that. Right?
That's what you implied heavily.
Implied, but that's just because I don't jive with
it. It's all good, Chaz. We get it. This is a discussion chat. It's fine.
We're not in a stream where I have to make my opinion actually clear, right? It doesn't really matter as much. So now that I'm here and I can actually, discuss it seriously, Gangle's just a character that I can't relate to and just don't jive with as much, on top of me just not really liking their voice. I know they have a character arc, but I find it harder to connect to that character arc, and it then feels a little bit weaker because I just don't have that connection to it. Though I will say, I don't think me getting a job is magically going to make me look back at the character and like them. I think I just have one too many gripes here and there with the character that is my own thing, and I will understand that's my own thing, but it's just how I feel.
Okay, Soundbox, can I?
Oh, I was about to say, Mars. I know you. I was gonna say, you want to take this one?
All right, crack my knuckles here.
Here comes the hammers.
Right. So the thing about Gangle is that she is a very complex character in the fact that her episode 3, I think.
4.
3 or 4. The whole thing with the plastic mask is obviously that's a bit of a metaphor for masking, and the whole that's Gangle's whole thing is that the comedy mask is a form of masking, in like the neurodivergent sense, where she's trying to put up um a face that she believes other people would prefer to her quote unquote real face. Um, the whole thing about her comedy mask breaking can also definitely be interpreted as somebody who is struggling to keep themselves together, um, especially when things are so constantly going wrong and people like Jax are constantly sabotaging her. Um, and I really resonate with her story because it's very clear um she has these issues, but um and she has people in her life like Jax who just want to see her fail, but when she needs it most, she has people around her who are willing to lift her up and accept the real her.
Mhm.
And for and I can see the interpretation of her being kind of a pathetic and whiny character, but like the whole thing about it is that she is Jax's victim. At the end, during episode 9, she can't cry for him when
Yeah.
he's when his abstraction is getting kind of this special tent treatment. She walks away with a lot of complex feelings. She's feeling like people are absolving Jax of all the things that he's done when she can't forgive him for what all he's done to her. Um, and it just she's a really complex character. She's more than just learning to live with just the sadness mask. It's more of she's learning to live with herself and be willing to be herself in the face of constant abuse.
Mhm.
Um, and it helps that for me, like I also really like that she's an artist. Um, that relates that ties me to the character even more than I already was. From episode 1, it was just a thing of like I really liked Gangle's design, but as the show went on, I kind of really latched on to what her story was in like the plastic mask is masking. It's a sense of putting up a face that you're not necessarily happy with, but it's one where you think where you have to
Others
do
are
it
happy.
because
Yeah.
you believe it's what other people want, or you need to do it because you need to be quote unquote functional in the real world. And it's a tiring process. It's an absolutely tiring process. So yeah, just as time went on and like the themes of her character became more clear, I loved her even more because seeing her grow to accept herself and grow to understand that um she doesn't have to put on a face, put on a show for other people. I really resonated with that story a lot. Um it didn't have anything to do with like the whole 9 to 5 job. It had more to do with like what Gangle was learning and how she was growing out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, okay. I
And
once again, this is the thing. It's a character that here's the thing. I'm an artist, right? So I thought just naturally that me being an artist and me wanting to have a similar thing of I want to release my instead of a like I guess manga inspired web comic, it would be more like an animated pilot or whatever, right? I would have similar motivations to that character, but because I don't have similar attributes to that character, I find it harder to latch on. That's not me saying the character's inherently bad. It's just me saying they're not my cup of tea and I find them a little
it's
annoying. I'm not saying there's no depth there. I'm not saying anything like that. They're just genuinely not for me.
I
And I can't
Yeah, I
say,
mean, I was just giving the perspective
I mean, my
of
thing
oh, no,
like
too
no,
is
this is
like
absolutely. And
why.
I
my
understand and
my thing
respect
too
that.
is just the way that Gangle was written and like the way that they handle her, like kind of I can't really say like a redemption arc or anything, but the way that they handle her being like it's a direct it's like almost the direct opposite of what happens with Jax. Jax starts off as this character as he's very much of like the pilot. He's a bit more of a sleazeball, but like 2 and onwards, he kind of seems like this character that is just kind of chill with who he is, and he just wants to fuck around with people. Gangle is very insecure about who she is, and she's constantly masking. I think that's the whole point of the avatar gimmick. And the down spiral versus the lift up that happens between Jax and Gangle, like where things slowly start, the script starts to get flipped. The flip starts to get script to the point where it's like,
how the turntables.
Exactly. So, and like we could see how somebody who has been under like been a victim of abuse and been somebody who has like gone through those kinds of traumas turning into an abuser and becoming a terrible person themselves versus somebody who has gone through abuse, gone through torment, the same kind of things,
it's
and
good contrast.
is
Absolutely.
able to be lifted up out of that and still have people that care about them. And I think the best like way to really see this happening about Gangle really becoming being able to accept herself for who she is all of the times we see the tragedy mask is showing and the comedy mask is falling off, but the comedy mask is the one making the sad face and the tragedy mask is the one making the happy face. I know there's two distinct moments I can think of off the top of my head that happens, and it might be the only two, but it's very telling of who she is as a character and how she's evolving as a person in the show, where when she throws off the plastic comedy mask in episode 4, that the comedy mask is frowning and she's like, smiling, she's free, she's able to just breathe, be herself. And then at the Tommy gun moment where she's like, I really want to be able to laugh maniacally while firing a Tommy gun. She thought she needed her comedy mask for it, but after Pomni shoots her in the fucking head, bullseye, and the comedy mask shatters, you can see she's still smiling wide with a underneath on the tragedy mask. She is having a genuinely good time. She's truly having fun. She didn't need the comedy mask to do so. She thought she did. And it's like it's telling about how how Zubul is helping her truly accept herself as a character. So like it's a very well done parallel, so to speak.
And then there's actually
Jax.
one more thing I wanted to mention about the relationship with Jax is Jax is very much targeting Gangle because Jax is obviously masking himself.
Sees himself,
And Gangle is like, especially towards the end of the show, is feeling more comfortable being vulnerable, and he sees that as enough of a weakness to constantly exploit. So at the same time, it's like these characters parallel each other, but they also like feed off of each other in a writing sense, where because of the way that Gangle and Jax parallel each other, it also allows like the writing to essentially flourish in the way that it does. And I just think that like as a whole, Gangle is, I think Jax is the most interesting character in the whole show, but Gangle is my favorite because
you're wrong. No, I'm playing.
I think Gangle is my favorite because like Jax wouldn't be as bad as he is without Gangle, and Gangle kind of gives the inverse of what Jax is, and I think is a more lovable version of Jax's arc. Because like Gangle is wanting to put up a mask for other people, but is struggling to do so. And at the end, people have to tell her that it's fine. You don't have to. We like the real you. And she's able to accept herself. Meanwhile, Jax is unwilling. Jax has established his mask, and he's kept it up as long as he can. And
to the point of abstraction.
People are actively telling him that they hate being around him when he's masking. And despite all that, he doesn't ever have the shred of self-awareness necessary to drop the mask long enough. And I say he doesn't have the shred of self-awareness. He probably does, but he's probably too fearful of it that he just doesn't try to. But in that he also lacks the awareness that like if people are willing to accept the real Gangle, he never has that moment of like, what if I dropped it for a bit? How would everybody feel then? because it's very clear that like the Jax that we see in the show and the real Jax are two very different people. And he's afraid to be the real Jax.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate how like the down spiral happens too, where he like something that's mentioned is like the way that his mom treated him after his dad left is like whenever he showed weakness, he wasn't as good as his dad, and whenever he lashed out, just as bad as him. It feels like Jax took a similar approach, where any weakness Gangle showed was something he would exploit, and anytime she would try to stand up for herself, he would kind of put her down.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we see it happening more and more in the show, Gangle has Zubul around for support, so it's not. We don't get to see that whole like anytime that she stands up for herself, he's putting her down in the same way that his mom might have. But I have this feeling that like the way he mistreats Gangle and just abuses her for showing all this like sadness and weakness is the same way that his mom would have to him, and it's just very unfortunate. Like it is it's hard to articulate. It is
Jax has mommy issues.
a good chunk of characters in that show tend to, it seems, but it's like, I mean, that's what leads them all to the circus anyways, and it's just kind of like I don't know. I can't word. Brain is not braining. It's just really
I think at the end it's like. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's just no. It's fine. It's one of those things. It's like it is a tragedy. Funnily enough, it is a true tragedy. Like Gangle's the one wearing the tragedy mask, but it's an absolute tragedy for Jax that this is the route he chose, because in the end he became just as bad as the thing he was trying to run away from. So that leads him to abstraction. Which, side note, anybody who was on that hard copium saying the YouTube release was going to have a different ending, or like Jax wasn't going to be abstracted, I'm sorry, you're just kind of dumb. I'm so sorry to say this, but you might be a little stupid. I mean, I am too, but Jax abstracting was like the only like fully readable thing about the entire show. I called that, we called that from all the way back in episode 3. I was already feeling it in episode 2, but like.
I called it with 100% confidence in episode 3. Is like Jax
exactly. Like once we got that interaction with the worst thing you could do to somebody is make them feel unwanted and unloved. It's okay. Jax is abstracting. It's not a matter of if, only when. It's just the fact that they decided to wait all the way until the finale to have another abstraction happen, and then you don't even get the satisfaction of seeing it happen. It just happens. It's just it cut suddenly abstracted. We've already seen the process because he started to abstract at episode 7. But it's like, ugh. Anyways, sorry, side tangent over. Continue with what you're going to say, Mars.
I forgot.
Oh, wow,
I got it. Hold on. Ultimately, like the reason that I think Gangle is liked is just because she's a very, very complex character. Probably one of the more complex characters in the show, because like you compare Gangle to like Ragatha. And Gangle, I would say, is a lot more complicated than Ragatha, because I feel like, in terms of characters, Kinger and Ragatha get kind of the least development. That's not to say they get no development, but they definitely do feel like they get the least out of all of the different characters in the show. Zubul also kind of being one of those that doesn't really get a ton of development. But Gangle does get quite a bit of development, given that there's episode 4, and even in episode 6, Gangle has her interactions with Zubul, and just overall, Gangle is one of the more complex characters of the show. Plus, there's the fact that oh lord, her whole motif as a character can very easily be taken as like a very direct metaphor for different sorts of mental disorders. Which I think a lot of people in the digital circus fandom, for some reason, can very, very directly relate to. I'm not sure why. That seems like a weird correlation, but I don't know.
That's an
I
odd
mean,
one.
okay, jokes aside, I feel like if you make a character who has themes of that nature, people are going to gravitate towards that character.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
thing is, I going off of that, I don't know if I would say that like yes they had I don't know. I feel like Zubul and like Ragatha, so they still had development, like they still had a lot of development. I would say maybe I don't know. I think there's a lot of people, and I know you're not one of them, but there's a lot of people that look at like characters like Ragatha, Zubul, and even Gangle, and look at the episode and think, wow, this character barely developed at all throughout the series. This character is basically just a side character, useless, blah blah. No, these characters had a lot of development. Like every single character had a bunch of development through the show. It's just that it's a lot more subtle.
Yeah.
And sometimes this development is regression, but that is a part of developing as a person. There are times where you're going to kind of like take a few steps back. You might make some progress forward, but then you spiral a little bit again, because that's just how mental health works. You're not always going to be on the up. There are days, there are times where you're going to regress a little bit, and that's part of being human. So there are times where we see characters kind of like tiptoe between certain spots. I think Ragatha's a good example of this, where it's like she kind of almost goes through the same issue twice, where it's like she wants to reach out to be there for Pomni. She thinks she's like immediately pushed her away, and then Pomni's like, oh no, everything's chill. Like, you know, in episode 3 they resolve that, but then throughout episode 4 and 5 we kind of get a few steps backwards again, and then by episode 6 she's completely like, I'm pretty sure Pomni hates me now. It's like gone back to what it was before, and then, you know, Kinger helps her through that and stuff, and they talk it out until we get that full-on resolve in the finale, where like we see them just straight up bond, and it's like, train of thought, don't leave me now. No, please, not at this moment.
I don't want to go.
Shut the hell up! You're not helping.
You're on about Ragatha. You were on about Ragatha going through the same thing twice.
I know. It's right. So it's like these character developments and stuff. They still develop as characters. They develop a lot. There's moments where they have to regress a little bit to finish, like to go through the full development. And sometimes it's a bit more of a subtle development, but they all still kind of. I have the stance that every character in that series changed. Like all of them went through some sort of big arc, with the only exception being potentially Kinger. And the only reason for that, and the only reason for that is just because he was already pretty solid in where he stands. His mind was just so gone that he didn't really have the chance to develop. We get to see his true side, but he's not somebody who like needs to change much. He already stands firm where he is when he's fully sane and when he can remember things. It's just hard for him to remember. So when we get those moments of sanity, he's a character that's already developed and already is like, he's already gone through that growth. He's our sort of he's our sage advice character, literally. He has, like, I mean, literally,
that was just a crazy old man.
It's like he literally goes through that exact same he almost goes through the exact same thing as Ragatha did. When he's like, we can hear that when he's talking to Ragatha in episode 6, where he had hated himself and he hated everything about the circus and stuff, and it kind of took him, like, it took Ragatha being there, more people showing up, and like him being him being there and developing in, like, prior to the series, that we didn't really get development on screen. It already happened, but he did in the past develop just as much as every other character.
Yeah, I 100% agree with everything that's being said. Like that's why I say is like these other characters did have development. It didn't feel as substantial as Gangle's or as some of the other characters, because there was that regression moment. There was still development. It just by the end didn't feel as substantial. So I think a lot of people I think a lot of people will latch onto that subconsciously, like how much a character has changed versus the beginning, even if they don't realize it. And I think that, like, if there's a stronger contrast between the beginning and the end, they'll stick out more. but that doesn't mean that the other characters who didn't change as much had no progression as a character, had no arc. They got development, they got an arc just as much as everybody else.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as noticeable, and I think as a result, people won't latch on as hard to those arcs. But that's not to say that they're bad. That's not to say that they're not as valid, and that's not to say nobody will latch on. I just think that like you'll get a lot more people onto a character the more they change between episode 1 and episode 9.
Yeah.
Because like as a writer, I was very much able to like understand what was happening with each of the different characters and how much they were changing, because like it's just one of those things where I could sit here and pick apart the whole thing, the whole show for forever. But like the fact that I was able to call out, oh, Jax is gonna abstract by the end of episode 3, like that just goes to show that like the foreshadowing was strong enough, and I was very aware of what was being written to a point where I could reasonably set my expectations just based on what was happening in the show.
Yeah.
And I think that some people who can't recognize that sort of thing will have ended up they won't have recognized it, and they will have been upset by what came about. But that's why I say like I have seen very few good arguments for why this finale was like mid or even bad. Um because it's like a lot of the time the arguments that I'm seeing is just like, oh, so you didn't pay attention to the show. Oh, so you don't know how writing works.
Pretty much.
Because it'll be stuff like fucking, I can't remember what all I've seen, but it'll be stuff like, oh well, I expected Jax to abstract from the start. It wasn't shocking when he abstracted. Okay, it wasn't meant to be shocking. It wasn't meant to be like, oh, this came out of nowhere, because that's not how writing works. Like that's not how a person works.
There are some people at the finale that were like, there's no way, I didn't think he was going to abstract. There was no way he was going to abstract. Why did they do that? They ruined the whole thing. I'm like, dude.
And it's like, you okay, so you couldn't see the signs? You couldn't see the fact that like in episode 3, the thing Kinger says about like the worst thing you can do, you didn't listen to that? You didn't
I can't believe you didn't pick up on the context clues. It was practically spelled out for you. What are you, stupid?
Yeah, pretty much. Because and like another one that I didn't like about the people, what people have said about the finale is and I know we're gonna get into it later, but like this specific one just pissed me off, was I had it relayed to me that somebody was critiquing the finale because it didn't wrap up everything. And one of the things that this person mentioned was like what's with the 57 everywhere? And I'm just sitting here like, oh my god, it's a fucking Easter egg, you dense buffoon. It's not joke. A hint. It's not anything that you need to be paying attention to. It's a fucking Easter egg.
I will admit I was one of those people that like was like, if there is a way out, I have a feeling that 57 has something to do with it. That has to be there for a reason. I was one of those people that was like, it shows up too much to not have some sort of significance. But as we got on further and further, and as it became more and more clear that the likelihood they were going to ever leave was pretty much none, it's like, okay, this is looking more and more like an inside joke. But the fact that it's like, it's everywhere. So I want to liken it to two specific things. Anybody who's like a fan of Pixar movies will recognize the recurrence of A113 in those movies. And it's a reference to, I think, a specific thing at CalArts, I want to say. It's some classroom somewhere that's like very well known amongst animation students. And then for anybody who's watched Star Wars, you'll hear or see two recurring numbers, which is 2187, which is a reference to one of George Lucas's inspirations in terms of like abstract filmmaking, which is a film called 2187.
And then another one you'll hear is 1138, which is a reference to one of George Lucas's short films that he got to turn into a feature-length film called THX 1138. These numbers have no significance within the universes of any of these movies. They're just references. They're just inside jokes, and they'll show up repeatedly throughout Pixar movies and Star Wars movies. So, and even in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, FN 2187, that's in there in the Star Wars in even the sequels that George Lucas had nothing to do with. So, it's one of those things where it's an Easter egg. It doesn't have any significance. It just shows up a bit. The A113 bit is referencing a classroom at the California Institute of Arts where many Pixar animators studied. Yes, that is what I was thinking of. Thank you, Dark Lord.
Cal Arts, yes.
Yeah. So that
Thank you, Dark Lord.
Yeah. You'll hear repeated references to different numbers throughout all forms of media. It doesn't mean anything most of the time.
It's just one of those. My thing with it, I know why people were so quick to latch onto it. It's like it has to have some sort of lore significance. Is because of the fact that Digital Circus as a show is so abstract in its storytelling and stuff that it's like its inclusion pretty much everywhere. There are people like me where I thought it was only showing up. It was showing up once per episode because it had one appearance every single episode. It's like it's whatever, but. It has to have some sort of also hello Darker. It has to have some sort of significance, right? But as time goes on, I'm like, oh wait, it's showing up in a lot of places. Okay, this is definitely just an inside writing joke. But it's one of those things that was like, it was definitely, it showed up to me at first as like, oh, I feel like there's got to be some sort of significance. Like, especially when we were so early on into the show, we didn't really know what was going to happen. Where it's like, okay, it could be a situation where like it goes, we get the leaving aspect of it, like they're trying to escape the circus at first. Then we develop we go through the period of developing the characters a bunch and really like diving deep into who they are, so that we can attach ourselves to them. Like we get close to them, we can actually relate to them. And then the last couple episodes are going to be geared towards trying to get out. But as we got on more and more, it was like, okay, it's seeming a lot less significant. On top of that, we got so much diving into the characters that we didn't really get into the trying to leave thing until episode 7. I thought it would have been like episode 5 or maybe 6 that like, okay, now we're starting to like pick back up again on the things they could try to leave. They might be able to get out. And like the fact that they never the fact that they never were able to in the first place. I mean, like it kind of makes sense. I don't know where I lost track of where I was going with that, so that's where I leave it.
Søundbøx, aside from 57 and then like cultural thoughts on the show, what would have been the next topic?
The next talking topic is where to from here.
Okay. Do you mean for Glitch or do you mean for Digital Circus?
Yes.
So for Digital Circus, the where to from here is the Murder Drones effect, where we're going to probably continue getting lines of merchandise, but probably nothing else.
Yup. But I mean, are we done talking about the like? I feel like this is like we're this point. The talking point that we have is the reflecting on favorite moments and just reflecting on the show in general. Is one of those ones where we could just go off for like that was the one that was always going to take the most time because there's so much to unpack here, especially because we've discussed most of the characters, not every single one of them, but most of the ones that had the most significant like upfront development and stuff, except for one.
Kane.
No.
It's news to me that it's news to you. Yes, Kane. We haven't really discussed Kane at all. But like it's I don't know. Like
I don't know what there is to discuss about Kane other than like the final scene with Abel in the finale. Like
yeah, I would have to say that like Kane is like surprisingly straightforward as a character, and like his whole arc is pretty easy to unpack. Like it's not bad, and I like that it's easy to unpack compared to the others where it's like over multiple episodes they change. With Kane, it's like he has this one moment and then he's given enough time to self-reflect, and then given the chance to learn about the world and about the people who he's dealing with, and is able to uh understand that what he's done with them is wrong, and is able to come back and say, hey, I'm sorry, please, you don't have to forgive me, I don't expect you to forgive me, but I do want to give you the answers that you've been asking for, because I've realized my mistakes were wrong. And I feel like it works as another parallel to Jax, where he's able to have that moment of self-reflection and use his actions to make up for his wrongdoings.
Yeah, he got the redemption arc.
Yeah, like a lot of people will say that, like, because Jax has a tragic backstory, he got the redemption arc. No, Kane got the redemption arc.
Nothing changed.
Jax
with
fucking
Jax's
dies.
character, technically, nothing technically. In the finale, Jax didn't change. There was no redemption. We just had more context.
Yeah, it's not that we got a redemption. Jax doesn't get to redeem himself. He made his choice, and he basically dug his own grave, and now he's lying in it. It's one of those things where
he lost his chance.
Exactly.
Can I just say, actually, this is one of the critiques I was thinking about earlier that we said we were going to save or whatever, and now is kind of a good time to slide it in regarding Jax and his abstraction. Okay. So this might be just me not understanding the show correctly, but I feel like partly it's the show not pushing hard enough to actually show it. In episode 8, we have every character coming together and being, guys, we will stick together, we will get through this. And then Zuba looks at Jax and goes, even you, like, we're all human, right? But when everything goes to shit, arguably the time where Jax needs the group the most, they don't make any effort to reach out to him. Now, he doesn't make any... Actually, no, he does. He made an effort to reach out to Pomni, and she walked away, which felt out of character for me.
No, he walked away.
He walked away.
Well, sorry. He walked away, but, like, she didn't pry, which bothered me.
Well, it could be seen as... You got to think about it this way. They are in a situation where tensions are high, things are just, like... Emotions are very high, and they just lost Kane. They think Kane was gone for good.
That's not
it's one of those things where
true, because this was after a montage of them getting over it.
Well, but that's the thing is,
that's the thing.
Time. It takes time. They guess everybody gets
the whole montage is about each person eventually coming to terms and on their own approaching and saying, "Hey, I want to help out." It's them working through their own feelings, working through their own grief, and then being willing to now pitch in because they've gotten over their own feelings. Jax hasn't gotten over his own feelings.
No, I understand why it makes sense thematically, right? I understand what the story's going for.
But the thing is...
But it just feels weird that the episode prior, they're talking about how, like, no matter what, they all got to stick together. No matter what happens, they're all humans. They got to stick... Yeah, and like, when shit actually, like, when push comes to shove, they don't actually make an attempt to connect with the person who Pomni especially knew was the closest to abstraction.
But the thing is, you got to look at it from the, like, episode 6. She literally tries to do that. She tries to reach out. She tries to get, like, on like.
And he pushes her away.
And in episode 7, too, and she's pushed away. It's one of those things where she's like, okay, I got to tread more lightly with this. But she literally says, I wish I would have pried more right before we see he abstracted. It's because she was giving him more space because of the fact that she's like, oh, I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to have him crashing out again. I need to approach this lightly. But she didn't, like, she wasn't or she was not approaching enough. Now she overcompensated, and it allowed the down spiral to happen. It wasn't out of character. It was just an unintentional mess up on everybody's part.
And nobody else had the willingness. Nobody else at that point in time would have had the willingness to reach out to Jax like that, especially given, like, the way he fucking flipped out at Kinger. For making an honest mistake, because when I was discussing that the other night with somebody, we stopped and we talked about how, like, we stopped and we kind of made fun of Jack. Is like, you would have made the same mistake in the exact same situation, and here you are flipping out on Kinger, and you would have been pissed off if anybody flipped out on you for making the same mistake. So
Jax wasn't there to see that mistake, and also it's fair to assume that even if everything confirmed with Abel was proven false, there's reason to doubt that, or there's reason to say that Jax could have a doubt about Kinger in his mind based on Abel talking all this, like, oh, Kinger, oh yeah,
Well,
when he
the thing,
uses his
if it
power
was-
responsibly.
If
Like-
it was all like, well, the thing is, they had already dismissed all of that as an adventure. The only thing that was true about it is what Kinger told them, and then Jack says, "Fill me in later." I don't know if they ever got the chance to fill him in later on that, but it's one of those things where he kind of realized, like, oh god, this is all real. The whole thing with Abel, they had already dismissed because it was something that Kane, like, literally, he like Kane says, just a fabrication of his brilliant world building skills. Like, they already had dismissed all of that. The issue with what Jax is seeing there is the fact that he fucked up by having pressed the red button and keeping them in the circus, keeping them trapped there, because that's what they all thought. Like, the blue button would have let them go, the red button would have let them stay, and Jax is the only one that, like, he didn't want to be there, but he also didn't want to leave because in his mind he has nowhere to go. I mean, remember, before he put on the headset, he was homeless, and he had potentially killed his mom. And so he doesn't want to go back out into the real world. He wants to stay in the circus where it's essentially safe for him. He can do whatever he wants with no consequence, seemingly so. So when Kinger makes this same kind of a massive fuck-up where Kane is like the only one in their minds that can really control the circus in general, like, be like, I mean, he could take care of abstractions and stuff. He could anything he could do. He could fix up the avatar bodies and stuff. Like, if it wasn't for Kane coming back, Pomni would have been in a permanent state of disarray. She would have been permanently glitched out. It would have been terrible.
Jax is a massive hypocrite. I'm not denying.
Oh, he absolutely is. But that's the thing, is that he crashes out on Kinger and being like, and then everybody's like, no, this was an honest mistake, and he's kind of like unable to really understand why everybody's taking Kinger's side so much more than, like, when they were kind of pushing at him and jabbing at him, like, you're the one that fucked everyone up, like, fucked us all over with this. And he doesn't really realize it's because he's the one that's been pushing them away so much that, like, he's an asshole about it. He was like, well, I told you so. It's like, you're the one that fucked us all over. Whereas Kinger was actively trying to help, and he just made an honest mistake. And so they side with Kinger, and he doesn't really understand that.
Look. Okay, I understand where you're both coming from. I'm more so going back to because listen, Jax is a hypocrite. I wasn't inherently saying he wasn't or anything like that. I wasn't trying to say anything like that. I was just trying to provide a little bit more context as to what his reasoning in his head might have been. But okay, going back to the whole, nobody reached out or whatever. Whilst I understand what their reasoning would be, you can kind of see why, like, how in the previous episode the characters go, we're gonna stick together and be here for each other, and then put emphasis on Jax, like, oh, no matter what, we're all human. And then the next episode nobody reaches out. Like, you could see why that wouldn't sit right with me.
Dark Lord makes a great point that you can't help somebody who doesn't want to help themselves. It could be that people did reach out to Jax. We just didn't see that in the montage because it wasn't important, because we all know how that would have worked out.
But he did want help because he walked up to Pomni. He walked away.
But he also changed his mind and walked away.
That's the thing, is that there was a moment where he considered opening. It's the exact same as the times we see him go up to Ribbit's door, think about knocking, and walk away.
There was no door in between him that time. Ribbit didn't know.
There's no door, but the door is metaphorical, never actually opening that door.
I know, but like, there's a difference between going up to someone's door when they don't even know you're walking up versus the person watching you walk up and change your mind. It's different.
But it goes back to, like, that metaphorical door is still closed.
See, think about it this way. Think about it this way. Pomni saw Jax walk up and then go never mind and walk away. She finished what she was doing, and she goes to find Jax and see what he wanted. And all he does is push her away the whole time. Was that something that really needed to be in the episode in order to be understood? Or could that have been understood by the implications of he walked away, so he was continuing to push people away because he was not ready to open up yet?
I understand. I'm not saying that like Jack's abstracting because he pushed people away is the problem. I guess I just would have liked to have seen the cast try to include him a little bit more to kind of go along with what they said in episode 8. Even if he pushes them away or whatever, I still would have liked if they kind of.
It just would have been retreading the same ground that episode 8 already
but
went
yeah,
over.
that's what we're kind of saying is, for all we know, they probably
retreading the same ground, especially with Jax and his fucking panic attacks. I feel like this is a thing where you could like definitely,
Well, here's the other thing is
emphasize it.
You could think about it as the same as like if we did see Jax abstracting. I think the best way that the way that they handled it was the best way they could have. Where Jax abstracting is just it's a cut and he's abstracted because we've already seen what the abstraction process looks like. We've already seen like interpretations of what it looks like from the outside, where like Pomni's having nightmares about abstracting, it just starts taking over her body. We've seen from promotional material and like now merchandise that is kind of what happens when you start to abstract, and we've seen what it's like from the inside of somebody's head. So if we were to retread those grounds, it would just be padding up runtime for no reason. But it's the same thing with like
and the finale's already an hour long.
It's exactly.
I'm not saying
it's one of those things where if they were to try to reach out and they were to try to be like, okay, well, let's try to include him more. They've already done that. They've already done that so many times. They don't want him going off and abstracting somewhere. They don't want him going off and feeling unincluded. It's somebody who is already shutting themselves off and trying to make others feel unwanted and unincluded and unloved. That his own refusal to allow himself to be opened up to is what causes him to and eventually down spiral and abstract. And we could see that even all the way back with Ribbit. I mean, Ribbit had him open up in her room, and then when he opens up, he just completely shuts her out because he thinks she's going to do the same thing his mom did. And then we see that whole argument sequence where he's not even giving her the opportunity. He's just shouting her down. He's screaming her down. We already know where this path leads. Even if they did try to reach out to him, it was always going to be the same. And for all we know, they might have, like, you know how Ragatha is.
That's what I'm saying.
She very easily could have gone up and tried to like talk to him. He just doesn't really talk to her back. Pomni's the same way. And the only indicator that we see that we didn't get as much of that, or they didn't try that as much, is Pomni saying, I wish I would have pried more. And even then, it's her overcompensating, stepping back because she's seen what happens when she tries to pry too much. It is a natural progression. It's not something that's like, oh, it doesn't feel right. It like, in my eyes, that is the best way they could have handled that. Because if we had seen more of them pushing and prying, it could have been seen as they pushed too hard. It goes
think about it this way. What they included in the finale was the important bits in order to continue moving the story along. It very well could have been within the fiction of the universe that Pomni or Ragatha or anybody else went up to Jax and did try to pry more, but he just pushed them away. We just didn't see that. And whether we saw it or not is realistically irrelevant to the story that's being told to begin with, because the end game for Jax is that he's going to abstract. So it's one of those things of there's no reason to show it. It can be implied, and it also wouldn't have enriched anything to add to it, and it's not necessarily a contradiction that it's not being shown.
Yeah. Dark Lord also makes a good point again. And there was that moment in episode 6 when Pomni goes, did I do something wrong? Jax responds, you're starting to sound like Ragatha. Like, it's just how he is. Even if they did try to pry it all, he would have shut him out.
Look, okay, see, okay, I get it. And to be fair, I hadn't considered the lens of Pomni, like, not wanting to pry in case of like Jax abstracting right there and then. I hadn't considered that. To me, it just kind of felt almost neglectful of Pomni to turn around, which I will give you both credit. I had not considered that thought process. So there is that. I still think I need to warm up to the idea, because naturally I process it with my own viewpoint first and foremost. I talked briefly with this with Rambles off stream, but like I have not watched like any reviews or anything like that. This has been like my opinion myself.
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah.
not something I've shared like all that much like outside of my like inner circle. So
This is one of those few series that I pretty much never watch like analysis videos and review videos on because
I've not
started
seen a
to.
single one.
I did because I do like to. There are times where I do like to watch like video essays and stuff and like about series that I like and see other people's takes and see like if their perspectives change my own because I'd like to be open minded to different ideas, different thought processes. But every single one I've seen from creators that I like in this, like the creators that I tend to watch in, like for Digital Circus, they start to go off about stuff that I'm like, this makes no sense. What are you getting this from? And
What are you
so it's like,
talking
I'm like, I have to just keep my opinions, like I have to keep myself, I don't want to say isolated because again, I don't want to close mind myself, but it's just like, they start going off on things as like, this is a conspiracy theory for the show. There is no evidence for this other than like 2 lines that are taken out of context. What are you going on about? Like, they hyperfixate on the tiniest little things. Everybody that tried to predict the ending for this show, and they were so, especially like the people that tried to predict the ending and did not have that Jack's abstracted. It's like, I automatically you're just wrong. I'm sorry. Nobody predicted this correctly. So it's like, it's one of those things where I can't. It's one of those shows that you really do have to like formulate your own opinions and like figure things out through proper discussion and not like just let me get my opinion from a YouTuber.
well, no, absolutely.
I feel you on that one.
Yeah. I didn't want to. I didn't want to taint what I already viewed, because even if that means I've misconstrued a couple of things, like here how I might have misconstrued how Pomni, viewed that whole encounter with Jax, it's still like I can say my opinion or my take on it or what I gathered from it rather than some sarcastic chorus or some shit. No diss to the YouTuber, just like as a general person who would cover Digital Circus like content.
And I want,
but like, yeah.
Sorry, I just real quick. I'm seeing other things I want to mention. I want to make something clear because I want you to know that we're not like attacking you or dogging on you for this stance or anything. It's just an interesting thing to discuss. So it's one of those things that we're just kind of like giving all the perspectives on the sides because your stance is still valid on it. It's just like there's plenty to go into that. I just want because Dark Lord mentioned something else that I'm going to talk about. And I'm like, okay, I feel like we're starting to hound on this point to the point that you might feel like you're getting attacked. You're not getting attacked here, I promise that. We're just kind of discussing the point because it's an interesting conversation piece. So continue with what you were saying.
Well, I mean, I kind of wrapped up my point already. I was just talking about how like I'm not gonna take my opinions from YouTubers. Like, okay.
Welcome back.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing. I am very open to the idea that I can, misinterpret the show, or even if it's not like, not necessarily misinterpret, because technically there is no definitive interpretation, right? But like, I can view the show through like maybe like a less sensical just way, or have a less informed opinion on it. And I can fully admit to that, but I don't know. I think it's just, whilst I understand why it wasn't essential to the story, and it like padded time or whatever, I guess it just threw me off. It really did throw me off that like we didn't see someone trying to reach out to Jax past the point, because whilst I understand he freaked out at people, it didn't sit right with me, because whilst it might have been implied, I guess.
I mean, here's the thing too: is it felt as well. Like I don't really feel like it was like them emphasizing that, like, oh yeah, we're gonna reach out for you. We're really gonna like keep with you now. It's rather that we see time and time again that they have reached out, and it's kind of them being like, okay, we want you to know 100%, even after all the BS that has happened, that we are still here for you. At this point, it's like we're letting you take the opportunity. Like, this is basically, the door is open. Walk through whenever you so wish. And there are many times that Jax has come up to the doorway, thought about it, and just turned around and walked back, and that was his own doing. It's gotten it like they've pushed to the point, and like Darklord brings up a great point. There's a moment in episode 7 where Zubul dumps the water on him, and he's like, "What was that for?" And then they go off about all these times that Jax has just tortured them and Gangle and stuff, and like they mention it's like, oh, when I have problems, I talk about them to people. And then Jax, instead of like, you know, like kind of Zubul kind of implying like, you know, you should be talking about your problems. I want you to open up. Jax immediately shuts it down like, it's a good thing I don't have any problems then, and then proceeds to walk off and almost abstract. Like it's literally a direct. He's completely shutting himself off. He doesn't want the help. He doesn't want to be saved. He's letting himself slip. And that, like, at that point in episode 8, read to me less so that like we're gonna start reaching out to you more, and rather, we've reached out to you. We want you to know that this, like, no matter what you do, no matter what you've done in the past, especially because Zubul was the one that was just, oh, we're dropping frames. Chat, please tell me it's not lagging. All right, we dropped a little bit. I hope stream's fine. But like we got that moment where like Zubul was immediately the one to be like, don't you even fucking start. You're the one that put us in this mess, and like hounding on him and being like, hey, you're an asshole. And oh, wait a sec, something just occurred to me too, is that they were hounding on him like that, and then Jax hits the, you know, it doesn't matter, and then Gangle's like, you know, he's right, that's how it is. And then even after all that, Jax goes to walk away, and then Zubul's the one to be like, that includes you too. Right after being the one to be like, fuck you, buddy, you're the one that put us in this mess, don't even start. Like, they proceed to be the one to be like, by the way, we're not letting you just go abstracted. Like, you're still welcome here. Even after everything you've done, you are still welcome here. At the end of the day, it was his choice. But something else that just occurred to me, and why I was like, ooh, wait a sec. That kind of reflects on what it's a small reflection of what Jax's mom did to him. Or it's like hounding on him and like being an asshole. Oh, by the way, I still love you, kind of deal. Where it's like, oh, by the way, we still are here for you. We still care for you. That's probably why he was kind of like, what, you know, completely froze up there for a sec before he did his usual, like, you know, masking. You guys are too worried. You think I'm capable of abstracting, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
So it read to me much more as like, the door is open, feel free to walk through it, and Jax just chose never to walk through it, and as in turn, he abstracted, and we get,
He walked away and abstracted.
exactly, and we literally get Pomni being like, I wish I pried more, like kind of saying, I wish I had tried to pull him in through the door instead of just
Because they had tried before. They had tried prying quite a lot before, just as a collective. But then, you know, Jax goes off on Pomni specifically, like really hard.
Yeah.
And then like when Zubul says that, it's trying a different approach of, hey, the door is open. You know, feel free to talk anytime. And he still doesn't. And, you know, it continues to be an open invitation that he just never takes, and because he never takes it, and people know not to pry because he is known to go off on people for prying, he is able to walk away and abstract, because it's one of those things where you can catch it in the moment, but if he's able to walk, if it's a situation where they're kind of holding off, because they're holding off for everybody to kind of wait and have all of their feelings processed. It's one of those times where it's a sensitive situation for everybody.
Yeah.
So nobody's pushing because they all know that's not what they need right now.
And we see that immediately. Like we
and
see
then
an immediate
we
example of that.
we see the issue with that for Jax of, like, you know, Pomni's regret is that she wished she'd pried more, but that's coming after the fact that, like, you know, everybody else just came around on their own and it was fine.
And like
And Jax was the unique case.
we even see those moments where it's like you can't just like force somebody to go along with you, because I mean, like, immediately after they learn this information where it's like the brain scans and stuff, and they learn they can't actually leave, everybody's processing it, we see Gangle want to walk off on her own direction, and she tries to get Zubul to go with her, and they don't. They just stay there, and then Gangle just tears up and walks away. It's like, yes, they eventually talk it out and like hang out a little bit later on, and we see that in the montage where they both open up at the same time, but you can't force somebody to go like process it on the same level that you process it on. So it's one of those things.
Everybody
that, like,
agrees in their own way.
They kind of had to. It was one of those situations where you just kind of had to let Jax play things out in his own mind, on his own accord. If they tried to force it, it wouldn't have worked. And unfortunately for them, Jax was just too like stubborn in not opening up. And I mean, literally, like Dark Lord said, the door is open, walk through it when you're ready. Jax proceeds to board up the door with wooden chains, quite literally. So it's the unfortunate way that things played out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where. Go
sorry.
ahead.
Just at the start of the stream, you had mentioned how it could turn what I said, a 7 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10. Like, that's what we're here for, you know what I mean? Like, understanding the finale in a different light, and how these characters react and how they grieve in a different light, like, that definitely does help me understand why they didn't reach out to him more. I still understand why I felt like that initially. And I'd be lying if I said, like, I'm entirely convinced, but I absolutely see where you're both coming from, and I absolutely like would agree with it, you know.
Oh, wow.
But I'm guys, I'm stubborn. I'm gonna have to like take a second to actually get used to it, and maybe do like a rewatch to actually notice it myself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things.
All I'll say is, like, to me, it didn't feel contrived. It felt actually like weirdly natural for how people interact with one another.
I was gonna say that was like one of the most natural progressions I've seen in story, like in storytelling in a while. Like, the writing for Digital Circus feels so just real. The characters feel real, and part of it is the way they have to interact with each other. Excuse me, and the way that they interact with each other, especially the way that with how Jax is. It just it hits home for me. And I just lost what I was about to say. I was gonna lead into something else. I
don't know what it was.
I don't know either, because there was no, like, that's the issue. This is not something we backtrack to, because my brain is trying to think of it. It's fine. I'm sure it'll pop up later. Is there anything else on that note of the Jack stuff? Because I brought up Kane earlier because I wanted to discuss more so, like, less his specific development and more so just what happened and the shock of it.
So you mean generally? Okay.
Yeah, because
I
know, like, I was able to predict some of the stuff for Digital Circus, like Jax abstracting was like very readable. Am I seriously the only one that thought, or one of the only ones that thought Kane wasn't coming back? They had me there. I'm not gonna lie, they had me convinced he was gone.
I was
so
coming back, but I thought it was gonna be through the cast doing to bring him back. Now I think the show handled it much better than that idea. But to be fair, I started to doubt that idea that he'd come back once I had heard that episode 9 was more of an epilogue kind of thing, like, as in, like, you know, a softer conclusion to the big, you know, rapid paced episode 8. You know what I mean? Which it was described as that in its lead up. So I don't know. I guess, like, I was conflicted on it. Like, that's all I can really say.
Cat Lady, I think the theory of scanned copies was all the way back in episode 1.
Really?
Yeah, no, I know people were theorizing that, like, oh, they're probably just brain scans all the way back in episode 1.
I was mixed on the possibility of Kane coming back, to me it felt too instant. It felt too much like it just turned.
It was,
And to me it was like that doesn't feel like the proper ending to his story to me. Especially when episode 8 opens up on the kind of a visual, an abstract visual of the origin story of Kane. Like, it felt too weird to just kind of end him there with the with him just fucking disappearing. So I kind of like I didn't know, I didn't solidly believe Kane was coming back, but I definitely was like, that's a weird spot to leave it on.
I saw him as like I can't say like the main antagonist, because that was kind of Jax in a way. Jax did play a massive antagonistic role, even though like he had a lot of development himself. His development ended in his essential death. Or essentially in his death, even though he's not like dead, he's abstracted, he's gone. So he kind of played, and even though he's like kind of a main character, he's also like an antagonist. Kane felt like, for me, almost like the secondary, like the second to last, like the second to last final boss. He's not like the final boss, but he's like the second to last one. The thing that struck a chord with me is just the way that the reason I was convinced was not because of how the show handled it, but because of how the cast and how everybody outside of the actual show were talking about it. The way that Alex was doing his posts online, like his Instagram posts, like his big thank yous for everything that it, like the show, like the big thank you posts that from the VAs that Glitch put out after the show, that felt like the way that Alex was talking felt like his big thank you for having me moment. It felt like he was gone. Like, that's what I was like, maybe Kane will come back. And then afterwards, the way that the way that Alex was talking about it online, the way that it was like talked about in Glitch Spaces, the way that the like animators and stuff talked about it behind the scenes stuff, it just felt like that was it for Kane. He was done. That was.
And see, to me, it's like, if these people are like in the background and they know what's coming, but they also know it's not coming until later, of fucking course they're gonna talk about it this way.
I know, and it worked on me. I got tricked. I won't even lie. I did get fooled. Like, they got me. I can't be mad.
I don't run with. I don't believe anything that anybody from behind the scenes work has to say until the show is over. Pretty much, like that's just how I roll at this point, because it's like, if you ask something in an interview and like the creator gives a clear answer, they've just spoiled their entire work, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
So I pretty much always expect whenever something like that happens, where cast are making posts that are meant to tie in with the way that the show looks like it's going, my immediate thought is, okay, what's actually happening here?
Yeah, I don't know. They got me. They convinced me. I don't know. My thing is, I have seen other shows kind of do that. I mean, the way that they handled it with Murder Drones is a lot different, because you didn't get that kind of like last hurrah kind of goodbye from Nola when they were talking about like Murder Drone stuff. The life just went on as normal. So the idea that V could come back, the idea that V survived, was always there, and it didn't seem out of place. It was still like it wasn't like a shocker when she came back in the finale, but it was like a yes, let's go kind of deal. Whereas when I was in the theater and they zoomed out and I see Kane, I literally hit the like my jaw was on the floor. It was never entirely out of the realm of possibility. I knew like maybe they could, but I was like,
maybe they were lying to me.
It was one of those things I was like, it could, and I'd be happy if it were the case, but I feel it's probably not that. And then it was, and I was like, oh, I lived, bitches. So, side note, that is my status right now, and I'm so happy that I could finally put it as my status, because I saw it the day it premiered, and I lived, bitches!
Yeah, me and Leg, you were talking about that before stream. Also, I did want to ask, you do see Blah Blah's question, is that on your talking points?
Do you guys think abstraction is permanent? Because the way I interpreted it, it seemed like they could undo abstraction for certain characters. It is not, but we can go into it now. Like, it's not specifically mentioned, but we can go into it now on the case of we already talked about it. It is permanent.
Yeah, I was gonna say we
It
already.
is permanent as far as like the show's canon, but like if it's one of those things where it could be retconned, in my opinion. Where like as far as the characters know, as far as we know, as far as the show is concerned right now, yes, abstraction is 100% permanent and there's nothing that can be done. However, if the show were to potentially come back for a season 2, or if there was to be some form of continuation in another medium, like a comic book or something, I think it is one of those points where they could find a way around it. However, I also don't think that Digital Circus will receive any form of continuation. From what Goose has said online, she's kind of fucking done, and I don't blame her one bit.
It's kind of like what I went into earlier. Like what we have from Goose, like what we get now from Goose, what she states online, we have to kind of take as fact, because when the show was being developed, we had things that were able to directly contradict her. We could be like, "Oh, you fucking liar, you little silly Gooseworks, you." But like, now the show is over. It's done. That is the finale. There's only one season, 9 episodes. That's all you're getting. Goose is probably again. She said it. She's probably never touching the series even with a 10-foot pole again. Like this blew up way past her expectations, way past her target audience, and the harassment, the threats, the complete and total bullshit she's had to deal with is unreasonable. And so it makes sense that she just wants to be done with it and go back to her little stories with her abstract storytelling and just little goofy things that she makes, like little Runmo and stuff like that. And like, it makes sense that she wants to go back to that and not ever do something on this scale again. So because of that, all we can do now is, like, what we have seen, what the show has given us, we have to take as fact. And the matter of fact is abstraction is permanent. It
wasn't. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you?
I thought you were done.
Oh,
I thought you were done.
No, abstraction is permanent. There is no going back from it. There's no hope for those who have been abstracted. That is just how they are. They can give them as much of a life as they can, but it's kind of like what Alex said. I'll bring it up again. The post disappeared on me. Are you serious? I'll bring it up again. Hold on.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's more of like a personal interpretation of abstraction. I don't feel that's relevant to the question of, do you think abstraction can be reversed?
Well,
But
no,
Goose
I mean,
Goose
but
works
no,
at
it does go
himself.
into, like, it really can't, because the way that abstraction is handled is its own thing. It's not just an allegory
but
for
that's a
death.
headcanon, no?
It's
That's a
own
Yeah,
thing.
that's what
But
we're saying. Is like that's
but
not.
it's a good example of saying it's its own thing in the way that it's unreversible. It's
Yeah, but that's
it's
no.
it's
okay.
not
That's not
that
what the
it
post
can-
says, though.
But like
That's
okay.
literally what it is.
I
Just
could,
to
let's
clarify,
say-
I never said abstraction is or isn't reversible. Goose has previously stated that abstraction is permanent. What do you mean?
Yeah, that says what Goose says.
Yeah.
That's
But
not.
it's
you're going into the whole
reiterating
thing that
the
Alex,
point that it's
was not saying.
unreversible.
But that's all we need to answer the question that was asked.
No, okay, whatever.
I mean, you gotta acknowledge my point. Like, if people are really that interested in hearing it, like, it's on Alex's Blue Sky, and you can go check it out. And it's also mentioned earlier in the stream. I do think we kind of have to move on, because it was something we already discussed, and I think that if it gets brought up again, we'll just have to ignore it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I did want to say, Enzik, Goose was not burnt out from her own success. Goose was burnt out from the fact that the show didn't hit her target audience, and she got harassed endlessly by a community she didn't even want in the first place.
Yeah.
That's why Gooseworks doesn't want to touch Digital Circus with a 10-foot pole anymore. It's pretty much just it's a mixture of the audience got bigger than she wanted. It reached types of people she didn't want it to reach, and it led to people harassing her for making factual statements about her own show because people are media illiterate and don't know how writing works.
Yeah. It's bottom line, abstraction permanent.
Yes.
Sorry. To anybody on that hard copium, I would love to, like, it would be awesome to see a storyline, like, where they go into that later. Like, that could have been an idea for season 2, where it's like, hey, let's try to bring the people back from abstraction, or, I don't know. Like, but it's, for all we know, right now, there's nothing that will potentially suggest it isn't permanent. It is permanent as far as we are aware.
I feel like if it wasn't permanent, we'd lose a lot of the weight of
abstraction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel that way too.
I don't know if it would lose the weight per se. It's just like, it's one of those things where they would have to handle it much more like they'd have to, the way they would have to handle it would not be like a situation of, let's go out into the void and find the brain files and see if we can uncorrupt them and fix the missing code. No, it would have to be something that, like, is a deep character.
It would have to be a
dive.
long-term and intentional healing process.
Yeah, like something where we see similar to how they handled Jax's abstraction in episode 9 and how Pomni goes inside of his head. Something similar to that. But I mean, for that to be done properly, you basically need an entire 9 episodes for each character that's abstracted. Like,
yeah,
there's so much to it, and there's a lot of characters that abstracted that we never even got to know. We got a little bit of Queenie, but
a little bit of Scratch.
Huh?
We got a little bit of Scratch.
We got a tiny bit of Scratch, but we got all of what we got from Scratch was secondary from Kinger and him recalling. And then we got a little bit of Queenie just from, like, Kinger recalling her, and then also we got a few lines from her. That's it. We didn't actually get to see a lot from Ribbit. We got more than most of the past characters, or we got a little bit from Kaufmo now, and we got to see his abstraction first in the first episode. But it's like, it doesn't. There's a lot of characters that we would need to be connected to in a way that is just not done in the show, and then you would need basically an entire season's worth of character development and healing to go into it. And I feel like that would pad it out a lot more than what we actually would want. I personally think a more interesting season 2 idea would be, now that they know their brain scans, something they know there's no leaving, and they've, like, developed the circus. What about the next sucker that puts on the headset? How do you explain that to them?
Michiato, Scratch wasn't resurrected. That was a flashback.
Yeah, the way that you see Kane, this is one of the things I was going to get to. That's right. Kane's comeback in the episode, when we see him finding the door out in the void, and then it's reflected with him finding the file. Notice that the file name is different and the door is different. When he's putting down the shapes as, like, a stairwell to get up to it, it's a different set of shapes per thing. I feel like what we're seeing is a direct reflection of what happened in what happened to Kane after he broke out of his box and he consumed the character and created the circus. Or he consumed the other AI, what we could call codename Abel, and created the circus, but it was empty. So he then goes out into the void, explores, finds the files, and creates a program to get them to work. And so what we saw was him doing so and creating Scratch, and now they are, like, who knows how long those brain scans were there before he actually got the program running.
And important to know that, important to point out that in episode 7, I think there's something said about, like, people abstracting because Kane was, like, fucking with the files too much or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's implied that, like, Scratch is the victim of that.
Exactly.
And it's important to note that Scratch is the first one. Scratch is alone there. Scratch is the one who created the brain scans and all of that, and it's just like it's one of those things where that's the importance of it, is that's why it's shown. It's all a bit of a flashback. Also, it was asked earlier what the favorite fan songs were. I have not heard any of them besides "Dying to Find a Home."
Happy Place. Leggy, you got an answer?
Wait, what?
Favorite fan songs?
It was asked what your favorite fan
fan
song for
song.
Digital Circus is.
I don't know. I'd be all over the place, and I'm not gonna say one that Soundbox made because that would be glazing.
No, I was gonna say I'm a little bit biased, but there's this like
Blazing
one.
biased?
I'm just a little bit biased. I won't lie, but there's this one you might have heard of it. It's called it's like a Happy Place, but it's not. It's not like the original one. No, it's like by this small
It's a
group.
cover.
It's a cover. It's by Digital
Yeah.
Wonderland. You might have heard of it.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
you're a
Quick side
fan
tangent.
song.
Something that just popped back into my brain. Fun fact for everybody here. One of the screenings for the movie. Some of the cast members were there. It was Marissa, Amanda, Sean, and Lizzie. They all went there to see the movie, and afterwards they did a Q&A. One of the people there in a Ragatha cosplay asked them all what their favorite AUs were, and Lizzie instantly Wonderland. I'm so happy. I am so happy. It makes me happy.
Guys, he's a fanboy. I can't believe it.
No shit. Anyways, continue on with what was
I
originally
don't fucking
said.
got nothing to say. I mean, okay, look. I don't know. I can't say like I have a. I like it's.
All I'll say is like if nobody knows what I was talking about, and you're into post-hardcore and you just really, really want a Digital Circus song that's post-hardcore, "Dying to Find a Home" by DA Games. That's the only Digital Circus song that I've really like sat down and consciously listened to. And I didn't even really listen to it because it was a Digital Circus song. It was just because it was a new DA Games song.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I am out of the nerdcore game at this point.
I need to give it a few more listens because everything that DA Games has put out recently has like I have to listen to it multiple times to actually like it's one of those things where it has to grow on me.
It has to grow on you.
It's unfortunate. Oh, hey Queen.
Hi, Queen. Hi, Queen. Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
I have plans for work today.
Oh.
I have so much work.
Lots of work, yes. We are. Oh wow, we are almost 2.5 hours into the stream, discussing
Yep.
stuff. We just been yapping. Welcome to the podcast, essentially.
I joined in the last second.
We still got a little bit more to go through because we've been yapping about stuff, but there's a lot to.
We're about
unpack
halfway
here.
there.
Probably. I was gonna say probably about 3/4 of the way, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like half. But yeah, like Kane's revival, like the way it was handled, it's not the fact of like, oh, like it's not just like the way his character development happened, because yes, that's more straightforward. It's just the fact that what happened with him and the knowledge that we get from him, like the parallel for the scene of him like finding the brain files, the brain scans, and like doing that. It's the fact of like, or like turning them into the what's it called, brain, please. Turning them into their avatars and turning them in, like, creating the program that perfectly encapsulates their brain files is what he said. What we see with him, like, connecting to the internet and stuff, it's like him exploring everything and, like, putting together that slideshow, like, who they were as people, learning more about them and humanity in general. I'm kind of wondering what would happen if he had continuous access to Wi-Fi. How do you think that would go?
Oh,
do you think,
no.
Do you think they would be able to communicate with people outside of the circus? They'd be able to start communicating. Like, imagine a scenario where Kane finds a way to get the connection stable. Because that was a Blue Cafe free Wi-Fi. We can make the assumption. I know what they say about assuming, but we can make the assumption that there's a cafe nearby that went up by the abandoned building. Imagine if somebody put up a hotspot and the computer was able to connect to it somehow, or Kane was able to connect to it. Then they had Wi-Fi access. Do you think it would be that would be another interesting like potential, not maybe like season 2, but like an AU or like a spin-off story.
It's a
Where
good
what
fanfic
if
idea.
huh?
I have so
It's a
many
good fanfic
ideas now.
idea.
Yeah, where it's
You
like
just gave me so many ideas.
you're welcome. Where somebody like they're able to like what happens if Pomni's able to interact with Abigail, Ragath is able to interact with Susie, stuff like that, where they're like, oh, that's what happened when I put on that headset. That's crazy. Because think about it this way: they have on the outside, they have no idea what happened. All they know is they put on a headset. Maybe it flashed something in their eyes. They kind of looked at it like it's dark. I don't see anything. They took it off. The brain got scanned. They don't even realize it. Like that kind of deal.
They reach out to Leroy and inform him, "I'm sorry, but you're dead."
Pretty much. I just like, and like they like we get that kind of we get those kinds of like just interactions where they get to interact with themselves as people, and like it's because it's basically, when you think about it, it's a cloning process. You get a clone of yourself, and that person gets to then evolve as their own person, and like we get to see them interact. That would be an interesting kind of deal. And then again, going back to like, okay, well, what about the situation of somebody else putting on the headset and having a new brain scan after they found out that they're just brain scans, that they can't escape? How do you explain that? Because think about it this way: Pomni was borderline abstracting on her own right off the bat when she gets into the circus, and then they're like, yeah, you can't leave. Like, Jax is hitting her with that. That's been true this whole time, so what about a new person? How do you explain that to them? By the way, you're just a carbon copy of your original self. You can't go anywhere. Sorry, welcome to your new home. That is how to speedrun abstractions 101. Like, I would really
No,
love
you just
to
have
see
to
how
ease
that
it
would...
onto them. You can't tell them everything at once. Like,
But
that sounds
how
mean.
how do you approach that? Like, because at least
Well, we saw, like, we've seen kind of the first person perspective of like how Jax came to be, and we've seen Pomni. It's just a gradual integration process.
it's
That's
gradual,
it.
but the thing is how. But my issue is that now you have the sense of potential betrayal playing into it, because you get people that are like thinking, you get them be like, ease them into it until you actually have to drop the bomb on that and like, yes, it is indeed permanent. You can't leave. The thing that kept these characters going for a while, even though it wasn't like a thing that they were hard focusing on, was the fact that maybe there is a way out. Maybe there is a way to leave, and someday I'm going to get out of here. Someday I'm going to be who I am. Like, I'm getting back in the real world. That kind of helped keep them going. If it turns out, they found out the hard way, they can't leave. It's brain scans. None of them could have anticipated them, and it hits them like a truck, but none of them knew. Now you deal with the situation, anybody new joining in, they find out that there's no leaving. They might get that sense of betrayal. They might be like, so y'all knew the entire time and you never told me, kind of deal. Like,
No,
that has...
because I feel like you would just handle it differently. I feel like
well,
you
that's...
should
But how are you
almost
supposed to know
open-
how to handle it per person? It's similar to the... It goes back to... It's a similar comparison to how they had to handle Jax when... Like, with the whole thing that you were talking about with at the end of episode... Or the beginning of episode 8, they're like, yeah, like... That includes you too. They basically be like, the door's open, you're free to walk through it, and Jax decided never to walk through. It's kind of that deal where it's like, I don't know.
This is a different case. This is a case where they are walking through a door where they don't have a choice. They've already walked through a door, that being the circus, and you just got to tell them like, hey.
My point there was like everybody reacted differently to that, and like Jax never Jax never opened up. Jax never like. Similar to like how, if like Pomni and King are learning to conjure stuff and fix stuff up, and then Ragatha opens up, and then Zubul and Gangle open, like they slowly start to come together again. But every person had to do it on their own time in their own way. Everybody's different. Nobody handles things the same. So you might get some person where it would be better just to tell them straight up, yeah, you can't leave. This is your new home. This is like right off the bat. Versus other people, if you tell them, well, I'm saying there's other people where you tell them and they abstract immediately, so you have to ease them into it. How are you able to tell one person from the other? Like, it's so interesting on like, how many more people do you think would abstract just due to them being new and not understanding and like being thrown into that situation where like now it really is, congratulations, you're here, you can't leave ever. It's just it's an interesting thing for me to like. I know, like, it probably wouldn't make a good season 2 overall, but, like, it would just be cool to see that kind of an interaction where it's like, okay, this kind of person where they're like, they like things straightforward, but what if they handle it to where it's like, oh, we're going to ease this person into it, and then they drop the bomb on them eventually. It's like, well, you knew that the whole time, why didn't you tell me? And that ends up leading to an eventual abstraction versus somebody else that they, okay, well, this person did it, let's try just dropping the bomb on them immediately. And they immediately down spiral and abstract in 2 days.
Well, the whole thing that we see about it is abstraction isn't just kind of like this panicky thing. It's not anger, it's despair. Because, you know, Jax and Rivet and even Kaufmo, because Kaufmo's desperate for that exit, but, you know, he's talking he might have found a way out, but, you know, by the end of it, he seems very dejected. And then, of course, Ribbit, we see just kind of slowly kind of losing hope because the one person that she felt she was really close friends with has now shut her out and is treating her so poorly. And of course, Jax, we see him abstract because he's pushing himself away from everybody, and he's just in a constant spiral of self-hatred. Like, what the constant we're getting with abstraction has nothing to do with like any sort of feeling of betrayal or anything like that. It's all, you know, the character spirals into despair specifically.
Well, I mean,
to which breaking that news to them is one of those things where when you break the news, you know, it's one of those things of like, that's why you would be gentle about when you do it, is because, you know, and you would be clear about it as well when it happens. So like up front, you'd say there's no way to leave, but then later you explain why there's no way to leave, rather because you give them that sense that like, okay, there's nothing, you don't have a reason to like it's better to just start trying to make sense of life here, and then you give them the reason why. Or if they're one of those type that needs to know why up front, they will be the type to ask why up front usually.
Yeah.
Because the follow-up question is like, I can't leave. Why can't I leave? Why am I not allowed to leave? And then it's okay. It's okay. It's because you're a copy. It's a brain scan. It's not.
I know, but like my idea behind it is like those people that like the betrayal thing is for abstraction to kind of happen at all. Like we see, like you kind of have to make those genuine connections first. You have to actually start to connect with people and like relate to the people that you're stuck there with, and then for whatever reason, one way or another, you get isolated from them. You feel that rejection. You feel that whether it's because you're self-isolating or you're getting pushed away by somebody else. If it all has to like. There has to be a connection there happening and then broken. And I feel like
Where did you
that sense
derive
of
this from?
every abstraction. I mean, the only
Well,
time that we
haven't
don't
seen
see
every
this.
abstraction. That's not really fair to say.
Well, I'm saying the only time we don't see
We've
that.
seen 3 of them.
We've seen literally 3 of them now. And I was gonna like what I'm getting to is like the only person that this didn't happen to, as far as we're aware, is Scratch, because Kane was fucking with the brain files too much. Okay, what
about Kinger and Queenie? What was the link there?
Kinger didn't abstract.
We don't know about Queenie, and we don't know when Kinger didn't abstract. So
we don't know enough about
the relationship. Why did
Well, I'm saying we
abstract?
don't know enough about how that happened, like what happened with that to make that.
So exactly,
call?
one of your 3 abstractions, you don't even know what happened to cause.
That-
there's
is
more
not
than
one
3
of the
abstractions.
3.
We're talking about the 3 that we know about.
No,
Ribbit,
I'm saying
Kaufmo,
one of
and
the 3
Jax.
abstractions you're using as your point. I know there's more than 3 abstractions,
But
like
but I'm saying it's like those are the we don't know what happens between Queenie and everything else, and like Queenie was the last to abstract of the original crew. So maybe that was like she was feeling a sense of rejection, or sense of like maybe there was isolation, maybe there was issues that she was having with Kinger, maybe they were fighting, maybe they're having marriage troubles. We don't know. They were the only 2. You'd like marriage, like couples drama can happen, and it can happen horrendously. There could have been domestic issues happening there that caused her to abstract. We can never know because we don't have that
Yeah, we don't-
story. All we know is what we've seen, and from what we have seen with Ribbit, Kaufmo, and Jax, all three of them had issues with being rejected, like having these close bonds created, having people that they care about, and then being rejected, whether because like they do it themselves
Being
or
isolated.
being
That
pushed
feels
away.
that feels less of an abstraction thing and more of just how Jax affects the characters around them.
But they abstract because they're isolated and they're in despair. That's not
because of what Jax did, but I feel like because we just don't have enough knowledge on the general idea of abstraction, aside from like what Jax does, to actually infer what is the cause of it.
But the only time
the
we
thing
ever
is that
see
three is a pattern. Is the thing.
it's remember, lightning never strikes the same spot twice. It is a
And
pa-
we
pattern
have
based behavior.
Kinger's words. We have Kinger's words. The worst thing you can do in this place is make someone feel unloved.
Okay,
So-
I'll give you that. I'll give you that as a point. Yeah,
It's like one of those things where we can kind of take away that it's most likely a situation of when you are like isolated, whether self-isolated or pushed away, after having created those strong bonds, that's when you start to abstract. That's when you start to like fall apart. So that would be a situation like that could cause an interesting situation where you get one of those people that like they still have that kind of hope,
Ooh.
and then it's like, wait, you've been lying to me. This like you didn't tell me right off the start that I can't leave because I'm a copy, or like you knew this whole time and you never told me. Why not? That sense of betrayal causes a self-isolation and then a down spiral like that. That could be a sort of that could be a potential way that it goes. But this is all conspiracy, or this is all like, or not conspiracy. This is all just theoretical
up a good point.
hypotheticals. I have a theory that Kinger's memory is what made her abstract. He slowly started to forget his wife, and since there was no one else, she's practically isolated most of part of the time. That's a good point. That could have been what happened too.
No, that's fair. I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah.
Like we just don't like. We can only speculate with the evidence that we have, and I don't feel it's wise to say that like, oh, this could potentially like throw a monkey wrench in the works. Like, yeah, it could, but as of right now, it doesn't, because we
Sure,
don't have
but
enough
is it not,
information.
like, you're making it sound like it's wrong to just be inherently curious. Like I feel like
It's not.
No, it's just the fact that
That's
like
what we're
dwelling
saying.
on it. We've kind of made our speculations. Dwelling on it too much is just kind of like, you know, like there's not much of a point. It's just like, oh, that would be cool, kind of deal. If you-
No, but when we do that, I'm not even like trying to critique the show itself. There, I'm just trying to trying to understand it more from like a fundamental perspective. I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not like not even the show itself or the writing or anything like that, but just genuinely how the concept of abstraction works. I'm not critiquing
Yeah.
anything there in the show.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting to get more of an in-depth look of like what happens with abstraction, because obviously there is it is a mental down spiral. It is a personal sort of
Sure.
thing. But I would also like to see what happens on the coding side of things, because obviously Kane created these files and stuff, and like they're when it comes down to that, these are copies of people that come down to code. So like Kane is able to mess with those files and mess with them as people. If that is the case, like, what's happening on the point of abstraction? What kind of corruption is happening? What is going on there? It's like it's another thing of like the curiosity, you know. I would like to see the inner workings of an abstraction from the code standpoint, like what is happening to the actual computer side of things.
Well, yeah. I think I said this earlier in the stream, something along the lines of this, where I said like, or aside from themes and whatnot, I wanted to know what abstraction actually was, and that's when you initially brought up the Alex Rochon thing, but that wasn't quite what I meant at the time.
Okay, I see.
But-
I see.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, do we have like a point to move on to from here?
I mean, yeah, the where to from here is kind of where we're at, and like that kind of extends into a lot of different things. And we've kind of been on that for a while now, unintentionally. Where
Yeah.
to from here is like, you know, oh, what could have happened. There's also like what like this show has left such a crazy impact. We know its future because it's the same future for the other Glitch IPs. It is going to be merchandised to all hell because Glitch needs money, and we got to support them. So they're going to continue to give us all sorts of like little merch bits and stuff, and references to the show, and all sorts of things. And like we might get a collab or a short or something like that in the background and stuff. Like, for instance, with the with Murder Drones, we got the epilogue being the Living Tombstone song, "Fight Till I'm Good Enough," and that was a nice little. You haven't listened? Oh my god!
I still have not. I'm doing it tomorrow. I'm doing it now.
No, after this call.
No, I'm doing it tomorrow because after this call, it's gonna be fucking midnight, and I want to go to bed.
Yeah, it's 4 a.m. for me right now.
What's the song?
"Fight Till I'm Good Enough."
Alright, I wanna see that.
It's
Why is
the
I have no
have
idea
you not
what
listened
that
to it? I think it's the Murder Drones epilogue.
I need to watch it.
it. My bad. I was like,
I know.
Ooh. Idea for the next stream, or a different Yap stream. I'm gonna rewatch. I'm gonna try to get Ev to watch Murder Drones with me while I rewatch it. And we could have a discussion of Murder Drones afterwards.
That would be fun. But yeah, so going back to the point I was making, like we'll probably we might get like an epilogue or something in the form of a song or like in the form of shorts and stuff. Who knows what Gooseworks might like? Maybe it'll like be like half a year, and Gooseworks is like, let me draw some more goofy comics and stuff. Like maybe Pomni gets her unicorn horn. Who knows? So it's like,
anything is possible.
Exactly, it's possible. It's just one of those things. It's like we kind of know what the show's fate is from now on. Like as long as we're guaranteed not getting a season 2, which we're pretty much like 99.999% guaranteed not to get a season 2. We kind of know where it's going. It's merchandise. We're gonna get all sorts of stuff until it probably won't fade into obscurity anytime soon, given its culture, like it being such a cultural phenomenon. But I don't know. I feel like it could have like it's gonna be like what Murder Drones is currently experiencing, where it's just slowly but surely kind of fading out of any sort of direct public interest. Where like we're getting a lot of merch drops and stuff, and Murder Drones has a really dedicated, solid fan base, but I know we're losing people every day, and there's gonna be a point where it's just one of those series that's like, oh yeah, that was cool. Anyways, it's like not many people really talk about it. There's not much to discuss anymore. And it fades out, similar to like Sunset Paradise and Meta Runner, where we don't get any glitch merch for those two anymore. We barely see any representation for those, and the unfortunate reality is Murder Drones and maybe even someday Digital Circus might see that same sort of, like, it's had its run. It's a great show. Everybody remembers it fondly, probably, but we're not getting anything new out of it. Merch-wise, we're not getting anything new out of it. Shorts-wise,
akin to Gravity Falls. Gravity Falls feels like a good comparison here.
Pretty much, yeah, where it's like it's peak, but it's ran a course.
It's
and then
time to stop.
And then another point to the where do we go from here? Gameoverse.
Yeah,
we get Glitch to greenlight Gameoverse, and we all get obsessed with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like Gameoverse is probably.
Gaslight.
Huh?
I'm waiting for Gaslight District.
Same. I guess. I'm so excited for it. But the thing with Gaslight is
I think Gameoverse will have more of like a universal appeal versus Gaslight.
I feel like obviously
I think Gameoverse will end up being more like a Murder Drones type of show where like a lot of people like it.
I was gonna say
it won't be like viral like Digital Circus, but it'll be kind of like on the level of like.
Well, I was gonna say
it's
the way that it's currently standing up to be now. I feel like Gaslight is going to start filling the void that Murder Drones has left behind, and Gameoverse is going to start filling the void that Digital Circus has left behind, where it's not going to be...
and then Knights of Guinevere is going to be sitting over pissing in the sandbox.
Pretty much. I mean, okay, there's already a very dedicated Guinevere fan base. I will say of the modern glitch stuff, it is the like lowest on my priority list. I don't dislike it by any means.
It's also the least viewed pilot, I think.
Yeah, It was really
I
sucks
think it's
too
less than
because
Gaslight.
it is. It's got high potential, and I love its art style and like the way that they're handling it. I'm so excited to see more. But I also know it's a bit more of an obscure glitch IP than any of the others, which is really unfortunate given it's a Dana Terrace story. But it's like,
I mean,
I'm
for me,
excited
that's what
for it.
put me off of watching it. Is like, oh, that's okay. No, pass. I'm good.
What's wrong with Dana?
I don't know. I just don't like her writing style.
That's fair.
Oh.
Lackadaisy is there too. I mean, Lackadaisy isn't necessarily a glitch IP. They're just funding it, so they're getting another episode and more money. But it's it's its own thing. I feel like Lackadaisy could potentially fill the void that Has-Been's like gonna leave when it's done in 5 or 3 more seasons.
Oh yeah, Has-Been's gonna be here for a long time.
Oh yeah, Has-Been is
that
in it
one
for
is
the long
never
haul.
leaving.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait for Alistair to become like one of the most evil, horrendous antagonists we've ever seen, and everybody's all the Alistair fans are gonna be like, no, they ruined my favorite character. Bitch, this was always his character. What do you mean?
I can't wait for the Has-Been series finale, and I'm still saying, damn, I need to get to season 2.
What were you saying, Queen?
I need him to be evil already. He's not evil enough.
I feel like he is like evil. He's just been like it's one of those things where he has been an antagonist this whole time with common goals of the protagonists. There will be a point.
He's taking too long. Work faster, Alistair.
No, trust me. This is a slow simmer, like a slow burn kind of deal. I feel like that's the best
Like,
way they're gonna handle
okay.
it.
Here's the thing. Don't ask Vivzy Pop to speed things up.
Fuck
You don't
right.
want to see that.
Please.
Wait, what happens though?
Have you watched
the last 4 episodes of Hell of a Boss season 2 are what happens.
Oh God.
Oh.
Dude,
Alright,
okay, I'm
those
sorry.
go by way too fast. Like those should have been an entire season.
I mean, hell, the first season of Has-Been is a great example of this because episode 1, okay, it's a little fast-paced, but it's fine. Episode 2, 3, and 4 are really character-rich and well thought out, and I feel like the pacing is well done. Then it's like, oh shit, we only have 4 episodes left, and we need our plot to be gone through. Boom, 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 boom. Like they just fly through the rest of it instantaneously for a season 1. Season 2 is much more spread out. It's still in some places a little bit fast paced, but it is definitely very well it's much more like well spread out between character development, plot points, and like keeping things moving but not overly boom 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 like normal. Whereas if you look at, I think Season 2 of Hell of a Boss in general is just way too, and the fact that it gets worse towards the end, it's like, oh my God.
I feel like had the season ended at 8 and the last 4 episodes been dragged out further into like a full 3rd season, we'd be in a better spot. I think the pacing of Hell of a Boss is actually realistically fine. It's not amazing. It definitely could be slowed down, but it's also fine for what it is. It's not terribly fast.
Blaze Light Zero
But
says,
that's until you get to those last 4 episodes that get through an entire season's worth of content in half a season.
yup. Alistair is an anti-hero. He only helps out convenience, and he's opportunistic. That's not an anti-hero.
That's the description of a villain.
That is the description of an antagonist. A villain. That's not an anti-hero. Anti-heroes are people that like they do the right thing, but they do it in their own way, kind of deal. Where it's like they're not following the exact rules by the book. They're doing what's right, but they're doing it in their own way. And sometimes
Anti-heroes.
Those ways are ethically and morally questionable, but they're still doing the
Anti-heroes
right
usually
thing.
follow the moral code of for the greater good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Whereas
Alistair's not doing anything to greater good. He just wants to like get his lick back to what's her name again? I forgot her name. The cannibal girl.
Rosie.
And then become more Rosie, and then becoming stronger as he truly wanted to be in hell.
Yeah.
Hell of a Boss should have focused on its central premise instead of relationship drama. What was its central premise?
The whole thing of going to the overworlding,
redemption,
assassinating humans. No, we're talking about Hell of a Boss, not Has-Been.
Oh, so
Hellverse?
like it should have been a boring continuous action show.
No, it should
No
have been
thanks.
episode 6, season 1, episode 6, Truth Seekers. It should have been that. That episode balanced it really well. Whilst also adding a new dynamic with the humans, which they practically dropped until forever.
I
think
will
this
say I
would
don't
be-
like constantly dropping villains. I don't like that.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that this is a very interesting topic piece to discuss for a hell of a
Different podcast episode.
Hellaverse podcast episode. I'd like to
We're the
really
Digital
back
Circus
in.
podcast.
I'd like to really
Alright.
back into Digital Circus and Glitch in general.
You'll just need a third streaming slot, I guess.
Alright, I have like an opinion. I remember when I told this to a bunch of friends. This is probably it was an unpopular opinion, but now it's a popular opinion in social media. Is that I don't know? To me, like Jack is not a well written asshole, or basically not a satisfying asshole, where it just doesn't feel satisfying. Well, to me, in my opinion.
He's not supposed to feel satisfying.
What is a satisfying asshole?
Yeah,
That's-
but when I mean like
That could be
character
taken
writing
widely out of context.
of just
No,
like
I'm just asking like what like I've never found
What is an
like,
example of a satisfying
what is
one?
what is a satisfying
I-
asshole?
Alright, how do I explain it? Because I remember explaining it well to a bunch of my friends, and then I forgot just now like how I explained it.
I mean,
So
do you have an example like parallel character in a different piece of media?
Well,
King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh my god.
that's
just a
different.
villain.
Oh my god, that's just a
I'm
fucking
messing,
villain.
guys. Cool it. Oh my god.
Alright, to explain it, I've seen some like people would say, or not people, like I've heard some people, and then I've also seen friends. There you go, that's the right one. Seen friends critiquing of like Jack's character, of like slowly starting to like become the main focus, or like sympathizing with her, to where like I know why there's a lot of jokes or unnecessary like critiques or just hate of just like making jokes of like Jack's like it's just now the Jack show. And I'm like, I mean it to me, like I like how they added more to Jack's backstory, and then we see in like her like perspective, like her POV. But when I mean by like asshole, it just like a satisfying like character of like an asshole. Again, this is just like my opinion. I wish they could at least show a bit of humanity, and then her ripping that humanity away because she realized, oh, I got too deep.
They did
I
that
saw
though.
that in episode 6, I'd argue.
Yeah. And we also saw it in throughout episode 9 in multiple spots.
Yeah, but that's already too late now. That's like already too late.
Well, that's the point. Like the point is that Jax is too far gone. There is no redemption for Jax. The story for Jax is
it's in
over.
episode 5 as well. Do
Yeah.
you think Angle is capable of being happy? I thought you didn't care. Oh no, you're right. I don't. Like it's the. It was in episode 5 as well. I mean, it was a subtle part of episode 5 because they were just starting to introduce the concept, but.
Like my whole thing with Jax is like Jax was not any sort of redemption character. Jax was always going to be like Jax is an entire asshole the whole time. There's nothing like the reason we only see humanity when it's too late is because it's too late. There's nothing left. Jax is only having the realizations now that it's too late. Like, man, I really fucked up, huh?
No. I'm not saying that she should become like a better person or whatever. I'm just like, I wanted her to double down even more. Even like before. I don't know. I guess to me it just didn't feel like it.
Well, I feel like if they had gone too far into it, it would have just felt like they were just trying to villainize Jax outright.
Yeah.
And
another part of it is like, had they doubled down, it wouldn't have made sense to then it wouldn't have made sense to make an episode where you can at least kind of sympathize with Jax, because if you get Jax to double down from where Jax already was, like that's all, like where Jax was already terrible.
All right, maybe actually no,
so
double down's not the right word I'm trying to like add on. Like, like again, maybe yeah to you guys, like we already have it, but for me, I don't know, it just didn't feel satisfying enough. Well, again, it's just like my opinion of how I experienced the show. Of like, I feel like there could have been at least a bit more of like Jack's character of like there's like thoughts like maybe I went too far, and I'm like, no, actually no, I didn't. You know, just a bit of more humanity. That's what I want, and then realizing like what she did, and then dehumanizing herself again. That's what I mean by doubling down. Not as in like being awful, but just like, oh, I got too close. And it only happened like a few times, but I don't think it's enough for like to like understand, you know, what happened to him, or like justify why the narrative, to me, why the narrative just feels like they're sympathizing toward Jax and all
Well,
these actions.
the show is really trying to like balance Jax being irredeemable and not somebody you can forgive with somebody where you can understand how they got to this point and sympathize with that element. And that is a very precarious balance. And I think had they had a moment of like doubling down on like not on like the dehumanizing aspect, where like I feel like it very easily would have gone too far in one direction or another. And with what was in mind for Jax as a character, I feel like it was actually pretty perfectly balanced. Because like on the one hand, like you can sympathize with the backstory, but then you see how Jax's actions evolve from there, how Jax treats Ribbit and, you know, eventually Pomni, and even Cosmo to some extent, and especially Gangle. Like you get to see a lot of Jax being just the worst fucking person imaginable. And then what episode 9 gives is like the context of how Jax got this way. And you can get a sense of the weight of Jax's poor decisions, and you also don't get any sort of redemption moment where Jax is still an asshole. Jax is still terrible. But there is that sense of humanity while still being too late. I think it's a I think it's an issue of like expectation versus like what was actually written, kind of a deal, where I think for the character that Jax is and not the character that Jax was expected to be, Jax was actually written pretty perfectly. I think a lot of the issue a lot of people will end up having will be you know, they expected Jax to be something that Jax was never going to be. One of those things of having a specific expectation that just doesn't line up with what the show ends up being. Which, you know, that's just the natural point of any series that goes like this. Like people are gonna have their ideas of what's gonna happen. Then when it doesn't happen, it can be off-putting.
It's like the people that thought Jax wasn't going to abstract.
So true.
Like, I can understand.
I felt like Jax was definitely going to abstract.
Yeah, it's
Oh
like,
yeah, you go.
I can understand people not thinking that by like, okay, episode 3, like we called it from all the way back there. I was even thinking like, I feel like this is gonna happen in episode 2, but like episode 3, it's like, okay, I can understand not. Episode 4, yeah, there wasn't much there wasn't much like emphasis on Jax as like we could kind of see that, but not as much. It was the emphasis was much more on Gangle. But episode 5 and onwards, it was like, okay, this motherfucker's probably gonna abstract. It's like episode 5, okay, it's pretty well set, pretty well set up. Episode 6, nah, there's no way he's not abstracting. Like, that's just how it is.
And then he dies. She dies. She's just gone. Goodbye.
Motherfucker gets shot. Old Yellard himself.
I have so much opinions that I love to like argue or counterpoint my opinions. Another thing I wanted to like talk about is Pomni's character, because there are some lines she said where I'm like, I what? Like, I don't know. To me, and in my opinion, once again, these are all my opinions. I have to keep clarifying that just in case.
Yeah.
The scene where Pomni said like to Ragnar, "You're my closest friends, if not like
Oh
the
my
closest
god,
I
yes.
ever been with," and I was like, "Girl, you were
best
closer
thing-
with another woman."
That's the best thing. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me in the circus. I'm like, huh?
No, she wasn't. Like my problem with Pomni, she says things that was not in her character, or there's like characters that say things that was like, no, she did not do these.
Oh.
Where she like said you went out of your way to like help other people, or like, I don't know, like you're closest to this, you're closest to that, or it's like it's what I do. Like we're here this together.
I
What?
don't know. I can't say it's like out of character for Pomni. I think Pomni was always meant to be a sort of like, she comes in, starts off as a complete
No,
and total
no.
nervous.
Not out of character. I'm just like where was the context of these things? Like it's clear that her character was meant to be like definitely to help people, but then there was not much helping people she did.
I mean, she got a practice run on Gummy Goo, so we see that in episode 2. In episode 3, she gets helped by Kinger, and that kind of sets her up to be somebody who tries to help out more. But the thing is, she tries to help out Gangle. Gangle kind of shuts that out and ends up getting help from Zubul instead. And then she kind of like, we see the progression we see between Ragatha and Pomni is much more subtle, and it kind of, I guess you could say it's kind of in the background almost, where it's mental stuff, like mental anguish that Ragatha's dealing with at the time, and it is kind of like going, she's trying to go through it on her own time in her own head. It's not something that's like brought to the forefront nearly as much as like what happened with Jax, which was obviously had to be brought to the forefront. But like Pomni, she did kind of help other characters go through it and try to like she was overall just the rock to lean on essentially after she adjusted to the circus, and did kind of help with me even when it's like subtle details, like in episode 8 after they they get back from the adventure that Kane is like, I can't believe you missed out on the context clues, what are you, stupid? Like Jax immediately goes to Pomni. He's like, what, nothing positive to say about this one? Kind of implying that Pomni was kind of being on the same, like, was on the same kind of time that Ragatha was, where it's like, well, at least this was, or like maybe the next one won't be as like kind of.
Wait, was Jax talking about that? Was Jax talking about Pomni, or was Jax talking about Ragatha, or were they talking?
I mean,
both
it could be both, but like Ragatha's rolled up into a nothing.
Oh.
Like Ragatha's rolled up into a flat carpet, essentially. So
Also,
like,
in episode 6, was it? Jax says you're starting to sound like Ragatha.
exactly. So it's like one of those things of like Pomni is becoming that kind of person that like kind of pry at people to get them to open up so that they talk about things and can heal, so that they're not like.
She credits Ragatha as the one most affecting her for a reason.
Oh, that makes sense on why, like, in Jack's memories when she abstracts, where like there's like these what ifs, these characters abstracting, and Pomni just basically became Ragatha in her point of view if Ragatha abstracts.
I love the fucking I can fix you. Like,
oh my
he's
god!
literally not, you
that
need me.
that
I can fix you.
Is it wrong that when I heard "I Can Fix You," I was thinking of the song "I Can't Fix You," the Sister Location song?
I was just
in my head. as he choked her, I'm like, "Dad, can feel my heart breaking." Da 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 da. I was like,
Like,
oh, no.
what I was thinking about in that moment was just like, wow, this is really how Jax views. Okay, wow.
Well, not necessarily, because I mean, I guess you could think of that in the moment, but then right after, Pomni's like, "Is this how you actually think of us?" And it's like, "Oh, who knows? Everything's more fun when you play it in
Yeah,
extremes."
It's like
Well,
it's
I mean,
Yes,
obviously
very
that
true.
is literally a view into Jax's psyche. He's thinking about it in extremes, but that is how he thinks about them in extremes.
it's funny.
I
It's
think
like,
and-
what
but
I
could
like.
think of someone. I could think of someone like that. That's not really fair to say because yeah, that's how they view him in extremes. Like, I could, okay, Soundbox is older and more mature than me, but when I could go, oh, but when I think of Soundbox in extremes in my head, he's this fucking old like fucking
Grumpy old
monk
man.
in a
well, the
temple,
thing
like,
is
it's different.
like, but you can still take it as a way to. You can still gauge it as a way of like what they how they think of the people, because even when it's a situation of like it's how you think of them in extremes, then just tone it down, and then you get
Yeah.
the real answer. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe he
also-
doesn't see Pomni as somebody as like, I can fix you, you need me kind of deal. But like,
also-
she has been a character that has very much been prying into Jax's stuff and like trying to
Exactly.
get Jax to open up in the similar way Ragatha did,
Yeah.
in the same way that Ribbit did. Like, it's the same kind of deal. So like that kind of like, I can fix you. It's just the fact that she has been so insistent on doing it and like outright gone like out of her way in a similar way that Ribbit did. Outright gone out of her way to try to get him to open up, and then like dogging on him basically when he doesn't, because like, don't you think that this is the kind of behavior that causes abstraction, like that kind of stuff that probably hits home with him? So
Yep.
Because he did it twice. I mean, she did it
Exactly.
twice.
2 abstractions.
It's also one of those things where Jax mentions, everything's more fun when you play it out in extremes, and of course everybody's favorite line, reality's gay. What that's showing us is that like Jax playing things out in extremes is actually how Jax views the world around
No.
themselves.
What?
Like
No.
that's
Yes, it
how
is.
they're conceptualizing the world at this point in
I
time. They're
disagree.
that far
That was him
gone.
putting up walls against Pomni to not see how he actually views
Well,
shit.
okay, it is him putting up walls, but it's not specifically him putting up walls against Pomni, but rather putting up walls against the entire world in general. And we can see that is kind of how he sees the world, regardless, by his analysis of everybody in episode 6. Everybody falling into their archetypes.
Yeah, with the cartoon characters thing.
Exactly. That is a more toned down variation where like what you see in his head
Exactly.
is them in those archetypes just at their extremes. Whereas but that is still how he views them. It's just not to that degree, but it's still what he perceives the world as, and especially now in this completely abstracted state, that's kind of where he sees the world, just because like how he sees the world around him, because he's in this abstract. I mean that's why we get those doors in his mind. Like that is the jumbled up person he has become. He's allowed his mind to become.
Yeah. I don't think I have anything to contest there. Yeah.
I just really like each like is like very dramatized. There's like some serious, there's some goofiness, there was the Gangle one, but then there were like 2 doors. There were 2 more doors there that was like, oh, I want to see them so bad.
Well,
okay, a lot of people predict that one was like the Pomni abstraction. I like Pomni abstraction, and whilst that absolutely
I am
could
one
be
of
the case,
them.
whilst that absolutely could be the case, I'm in the belief that one of them is a door where it's Jax's abstraction and more so a view of how the characters would treat Jax after the fact. Now that's purely speculation. I don't really have anything to back that. It's just I don't know.
I'm gonna be that
There's a
guy.
lot of
I
Oh,
think
yeah.
if we speculate too much on that specific door, we're gonna be here for another 3 hours. It's been 3 hours. So I will say that is one topic I would like to try to move on from a little quicker, just because that is something that can down spiral very quickly with speculation, and we've been speculating quite some time now.
my last like comment on it is just that I am very biased for obvious reasons. So I'm just, my theory is just that was like Pomni's door for obvious bias reasons.
I do I smell Funny Bunny somewhere over here? Like, what's going on? Anyways.
I am an addiction. I am an addiction.
Oh my god. All right. But yeah, I guess that kind of covers the where to from here overall. I guess that the only thing left for the where to from here is for us personally as creators, as people, and as consumers. I know I'm absolutely hooked on everything Glitch now. They have, like, Digital Circus is what introduced me to Glitch, and if it wasn't for Mars, you and Ev recommending me, or, like, recommending Digital Circus, and then you pushing Murder Drones as well, I'm like, I would have never gotten into these
Yeah,
series.
because Murder Drones is cool.
It is. And so it's based as fuck. It's peak, bro. It's so peak. And so it's like, I don't know if, oh! Thank you, Siren Stargazer.
We need a spin-off
Yeah.
ASAP from before
We
current
spin off
cast.
ASAP
Before the current cast. Ooh. It would
Look,
be an
I would love to
interesting
see
thing
more of the
prequel.
cunty frog, but also I don't want more Digital Circus if it's not written by Goose.
Yeah, that's another thing, is that I think the entire world needs a little bit of a Digital Circus break. It is so huge in everything that it also just kind of, I think everybody's experiencing a little bit of burnout. I know I am. I know the people in the Wonderland cast are. I think we've all had our fair share of it, especially with how much it's been under in the public eye in general. I think that's just it's a byproduct of being such a big cultural phenomenon. But I think
It will come back when everyone's break is over.
yeah.
That's what it should
I don't think
be.
Well, I don't think
it will come
is
back,
going to
but
officially. It's not going to officially come back per se, but it's
No,
definitely like,
not like that. I mean, like,
Yeah.
have little, like, treats here and there, you know?
yeah, and like of course,
Okay.
fan creations are going to continue to bring it home too. Like I've got
just-
Wonderland, Queen. You've got your AU. I know people always have like.
That's
their,
what I've been.
Yep.
That's what I've been working on this morning. I'm just like,
Yep.
I
It's
need
like
to earn so much money to pay people.
for real.
I have to pay you in the future. 'Cause
Yeah, I'm gonna be
you're-
making money. But it's like I would love to see more about those characters prior. Like I would love to get to know the original cast that got stuck in the circus. I would love to get to know more about Ribbit and how Ragatha interacting with Kinger at first, and how Ribbit got there, and how Kaufmo got there, and like seeing Jax first appear, that kind of stuff. That would be great. But not now. Not anytime soon. I think the where to from here for us as creators is we continue to make our own stuff, but everybody kind of needs a breather, and then we just continue on. Let it inspire you, but don't dwell on it or anything, if that makes sense. Up next, Knights of Guinevere. I'm hoping up next, Gaslight.
I'm hoping up next Game Overs. I need
Same.
more Kit in my life.
I would love
I
more.
Not-
more.
not
really
for the
want
kid reason, but
Gaslight.
just, ugh.
The furry is
Generally.
excited
It's
for the
either
furry character. I'm not
Gaslight-
surprised.
Yeah,
Look, Kit,
either
I like Kit's personality a lot.
Sorry, Queen. Go ahead.
I was saying it's either Gaslight or Knights of Guinevere that need to. Mostly Gaslight, because it's been out of the radar for a little too long.
Oh
It
yeah.
needs to come back.
This is it's also the one with like the most complicated. Oh, thank you, Kales. Oh, we got a.
Hey, Queen. Oh, why is it about me?
Hey,
Oh,
Queen,
fuck.
Let it-
okay.
let it-
Thank
Hey,
you for the
Queen.
secret thumbnail. And you sound
Hey,
for the
Queen,
mad
wanted
chatter
to
thing.
Thank you for
You're
the
both
secret
helping me with a
thumbnail
special thing for my
and
friend's
you
birthday
sound
and can't wait for you
for
to
the
see.
mad chatter
Ooh.
thing. You're both helping me with a special thing for my friend's birthday, and I can't wait you to see the thumbnail. Oh, the commission art. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, I was like,
also for future reference, Queen, you don't have to read it. I have a text to speech that reads it out.
oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't heard that.
That I
About
tried to
Mame.
I tried to say it, but you were already in the middle. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let it.
That
read.
was too late.
But yeah, no problem, Kales. Thank you for the $10. Yeah, absolutely. It's fun to do little bits like that. I'm very excited for it to actually drop because it is a very funny one.
Where the fuck
Um,
you keep getting all
But
this
yeah, it's
money?
like I'm super excited for Gaslight. I'm like that one because of it's like when you think about it too, it's it's their last 3D show currently. They've kind of all their current IPs are their current running IPs are now 2Ds, with the only exception being
which I'm
Gaslight.
so
Doing
happy.
nuts.
Which I'm so happy because I was like,
You said what
because I
more?
was really
Nothing.
which I was. Oh,
No, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm so happy that they're now focused on 2D stuff because like there's so many 2D artists out there.
I like the
Like,
mix.
Oh yeah.
I
What
would
if
love
there's like a animation that does both 2D and 3D?
I was gonna say I would
That'd be
love to
yum.
see them do like Spider-Verse or Gumball style stuff where it's like a mix.
I
of
was thinking
2D, 3D
Gumball too.
stuff.
I'm glad I wasn't
Like,
the only
that
one
would
thinking
be
that.
so fun.
Please,
and, like, they have the
please
teams
give me
for
something like Amazing World of Gumball.
That they have the teams for it too. That would be great. But yeah, like Gaslight is probably one of the most visually complex ones for them to make due to its nature being like those stop
I
motion
wouldn't be
films.
surprised if the next episode was like a year or two away still.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate with how the development cycle for these kinds of things work, especially because it's still even after the roaring success of the pilot, it still took a while for them to get greenlit for a full season. So it's gonna take a lot of time, but hey, that also means, lucky for us Gaslight fans, Gaslight is probably going to be one of the longest running Glitch IPs, just by nature of it. By a technicality,
Please.
just based on how long it's going to take for episodes to come out. It sucks because we don't get nearly enough Gaslight fan content. I want to do more dubs as Mud, but I don't see enough stuff, and I don't have a dubbing group for Gaslight stuff. I'm just like, it's whatever. Whatever.
When I really hope that Gaslight will have a lot of love.
Oh, well. Just given this, given its current success already. I know it's not for everyone due to its more grotesque nature, but it's definitely like it's so fun. It scratches a similar itch that Murder Drones does, and I'm very, very excited to see what's next. But yeah, other than like new glitch IPs, I think indie animation as a whole is in a really good spot right now. Thanks to Digital Circus and its success at the box office, it telling the industry what we actually want out of stories. Now, of course, they're just going to misread it anyways. I'm sure there's already people that are feeding this shit to AI, like feeding all Digital Circus illegally to AI, and they're going to try to spit something out that's going to get the same reaction, and it's going to fail egregiously.
Reaction as in like a bad way, because I know people will be pissed.
Oh, it's going to be terrible. People are going to be shitting on that if that happens. But either way, I think, like, just in general, Digital Circus has really kicked down the door in one of the best ways possible for indie animation because of how big it was and how much it really shook the scene. Because, again, embarrassment on, like, the part of Disney and stuff when it comes to box office performance and stuff. It just...
Oh, yeah, have you seen the latest, like, trailer of their new one? You know how many people were so mad at it because they're like, this is just an Owl House thing.
What do you mean?
Oh, you don't know? Disney made a recent movie.
Disney making a new princess movie, but it's like literally just a ripoff of Owl House. Yeah.
It's actually an actual ripoff where there is this quirky girl that turns out she doesn't fit in the world and she's a single mom, and then she found out she has powers and goes to this magical witch place.
I've not seen that.
I've
2D?
heard of it, and then it's 3D. It's 3D animation because Disney's now focusing on 3D stuff.
Do you know what it's called?
Hex, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, it's called Hexed. And it's and it's just like and also it has the infamous of like facial looking to Disney, like the current Disney girls.
Yeah,
and that like Disney quirkiness.
Yep. Well, I know one thing I'm not watching. Oh, thank you, Siren. Thank you, Siren.
Siren's so
the
correct.
Only difference is no LGBT.
The only ew.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that like the main character was supposed to be a boy, but they changed it to be a girl. That's why the personality is kind of whack on the trailer.
They saw all of Glitch's success and said it's got to be because of the female protagonists. Oh, hello, Dill.
Hello, Dill.
Welcome in. Oh wow, what just happened?
Oh wow.
Oh, I don't think Disney liked our comments about it at all.
Well, what happened?
Wait, what did I miss?
My analytics say that we just dropped 2 concurrent viewers.
Oh wow, they can kick rocks.
Oh, well, that's
so
not
funny.
We're at 11 watching currently still, but Dill, it's unfortunate you've joined towards the end because we're on our final talking point here now.
Oh, come on! This always happens.
We've been streaming for like over 3 hours now. So it's been 3 hours and 19 minutes roughly.
Skill issue is all I can say.
I did ping.
This is what I get for playing. This is what I get for playing Marvel Spider-Man at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh God.
Skill issue.
But the last talking point. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, it's just bugging out because it says I have 0 concurrent viewers now. Disney, listen. I'm not sorry. Go fuck yourself.
You're not sorry, pal.
It's one of those moments where it's like, oh God, Disney, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to diss your IP. I'm sorry. Please give me my viewers back. No, go fuck yourself. You can't silence me.
Also,
bitch.
Soundbox, you had mentioned wanting a dub group for Gaslight.
Yes.
I want a character in Game Oververse that I can like reasonably do the voice of.
Hopefully you get that soon. Can you do Flappers?
Maybe.
My name is Flappers.
I wouldn't feel confident doing it on live stream right now.
I'll support Soundbox till the day he gets canceled. Thank you, K-Sans. I appreciate it.
Flappers.
What time is it for all of you? It is, for me currently, it is 11:34 p.m. I am a night owl. Okay, it was a bug on YouTube's part because it just fixed.
I am a
the
night
dip.
owl. I'm a night owl.
The dip was only 9 concurrent viewers and not 0. Listen here, leggy. Freaking Ireland.
The Soundbox, do me a favor. You're talking some I'm a night owl. Do me a favor. Look up what time it is in Ireland right now. Look up what time it is in Ireland right now.
I literally, I am up for the night. I'm not going to bed until like 6 in the morning at the earliest.
Yeah, well, it's
Okay, so we have that. All right, so at least I'm not alone.
I used to do that. I don't do that anymore.
I have to because I work overnight. I'm literally a night owl in the sense that my circadian rhythm is set to nights. I work overnights.
Sometimes.
I like working, so I'm gonna head out now because I want to work.
All right. It was nice having you on, Queen. Thank you for joining us and thanks for the discussion.
It was nice to meet. It was nice to meet you, Queen.
I like it too. I shall work, make money. Bye-bye.
Have
I
fun. All right.
I like money. That's something I'll never have.
I like money. That's why I have ads automator on.
You like
because
money.
I need money. But yeah,
I
my
like
final
money.
talking point on my sheet is just cornball moment. Because this is the point where I just got to be like, I mean, it's over. We are the amazing digital circus.
I don't want to go.
Oh God!
Shut up! No! Don't hit me with that. They put it on a hoodie. They put it on a fucking hoodie, bro. I can't. Oh, that hoodie made me like. That hoodie made me want to cry. No! I hate that because you have. Yeah, that hurts me so much. That specific, like, it's already too late, and he's regretting it. It's like, I don't want to go. It's like, anyways, okay. I'm
seeing the chat react to it now.
Exactly. Shut up, Mark. So, I have.
I can't wait to just bring that up periodically from now on.
Fuck off. Jason, no, stop!
Yeah!
Don't fight with him! No! Okay.
Let's go. Jason encourages my antics.
I gotta have my cornball moment. This is over. We are the digital circus now. All right, let me stop. Like digital circus.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna. He won't wake up tomorrow morning.
I am getting the shot.
The digital circus is over. It is done. We've gone through it. It's been 3 years. And in those 3 years, ever since this little, like, this seemingly little weird indie animated pilot that looked like it could be borderline content farm. Oh, thank you, Siren. I gotta wait for this to read out now.
With how Disney is creating reused crap, I would think Oswald could be used for something new instead. CGI remakes Epic Mickey shows right there.
I mean, that could happen. But who knows?
Oh yeah, that's true, Cat Lady. Goose is going to create a new digital circus movie that solely exists in order to drop nukes on the entire audience. That's right. I forgot that was happening.
What?
That's right.
I'm
I'm
making that
sorry.
up. I'm making that up
No.
entirely.
Oh my
I was
god.
gonna say,
premiering
I'm just living
Digital
under a
Circus,
tree
the
trunk. I
not
don't
so
know what's
last
going
act.
on.
Well, no,
The not so
remember
last act where it like says Jax returns or some shit and everybody
It-
runs in. Oh my god! Oh my
Jax
god!
returns and he has the bazooka and he's shooting at us all. No, I forgot that I forget that Gooseworks did indeed say that she was going to kill all of the voice actors, but what y'all don't know is that afterwards she said, let me find it here. Let me find it. I can't remember where it is. She said somewhere like after breaking news, Digital Circus creator says that after the series is over, she's going to fucking kill everybody. She has already gotten to Lizzie apparently, but now she's actually just going to kill her entire audience next after she's done with the cast. So we're all next.
Deserved, to be honest.
Honestly.
Oh. Well,
But
Turn my.
what I was gonna say.
Well, I know I'm safe.
I gotta have my cornball moment, people. It's over, and like in that 3 years of it starting, all the way back in 2023, it's changed so much of my life. Again, as I stated earlier, I would not have an audience at all if it wasn't for this goofy little series. If it wasn't for me doing my impression of Kane and Kinger sometimes on this goofy little series, this stream would not be happening. I would not have chat donations at all. I would still be struggling to get to 1,000. I would probably still be struggling if I was at the same uptick that I was before. I wouldn't even be at like 800 at this point. I'd still be struggling to get above that number. I wouldn't be part of Murder Drones Insecurity. I wouldn't be part of Wonderland. I wouldn't be part of any of the most of the groups I'm part of now. Any of the opportunities, the foot that I have in the door for what I'm doing with streaming and music making and stuff, I would not have that. So this is kind of like, I know Gooseworks will never see this, but this is my big thank you to Gooseworks and Glitch and everybody involved with the making of this show. Mike, this is what's kickstarting my career, and I'm hoping that it continues to take off. It's just this amazing circus, this amazing digital circus, this circus
kill
that is
him.
amazing and
I'm
digital.
kill him. Kinger wins a shotgun.
It has given me the platform I've needed to do what I want with my life, and I could never be more grateful than that for that. So just thank you to y'all, and thank you to everybody here who is has come from the Digital Circus stuff and the Digital Wonderland stuff and has decided to stick around, because I know that number on that 4.47k subscribers, most of those people are only there for Digital Circus. If it's not Digital Circus related, they're not going to be there. But for every single one of you that has stuck around for every single stream that I've done otherwise, those of you who have gone and looked through my other videos, who have enjoyed the music that I've made, just those of you who I have befriended because of this series, from the bottom of my heart, genuinely thank you so much. I could not be more grateful than I am now. Just thank you.
I gotta say, because of this entire series, I would not have found these amazing group of people as well, such as Soundbox.
Yeah,
So
well,
I
you're all
want-
lame. I knew him before. So anyway.
Yeah.
here's my-
Killing shit.
Wow. Okay. You wanna go then, buddy?
Here's my awesome message to Glitch. Okay, yo, Glitch, here's my message to you. Yo, pick me up for a show. I got a crazy idea. Okay, that's my
Oh
whole
my
message.
god.
Anyway.
This is my message to Glitch. Hey, Glitch.
LV
Hire me.
Tillin, I believe abstracted can be unabstracted. What you think? No. And if you want our reasoning why, rewind.
We talked about it earlier in the stream.
Twice.
Like twice,
Twice.
yeah.
Abstractions cannot be unabstracted, sorry. I hope you enjoyed the copium, but thank you for being here.
Unless.
No! Anyways,
My one message to Glitch is please let me voice someone in Game Oververse. Anyways, that's it.
I am dying. If I ever get into an actual Glitch production, I'm going to be so I don't know how I can't even, just the idea of potentially voicing for a Glitch series at some point is just like, let me do it. I'm excited, But obviously, I have to stay humble, temper my expectations, and continue to work at it slowly. Eventually, maybe I'll make it there.
If you ever do, Glitch, if you ever do hear this, instead of a series, I will pitch to you your first ever video game. How about that? Let's change it up a bit.
They're already working on video games.
Glitch, don't listen. My idea is better.
Well, here's the thing: is
Which I don't care. Just let me voice in Gameoverse.
They're already doing video game stuff. They've been hiring video game developers and stuff. Like they've recently, so they already did that.
Crap.
Ah,
Well,
crap.
It
Anyways,
doesn't matter. I still have a cool idea for you guys.
oh, it
hit
would
me
still
up.
be fun. And like, hey, continue to push for it. Even if Glitch doesn't pick it up, if you can make it happen eventually, then you can make it happen. Like, be the driving force behind it. Anyways, I think that pretty much wraps up this podcast. It's been about 3.5 hours, so unless
So when's the next podcast episode?
yeah. On the next episode of Yapping, I don't know. Yapping with friends.
Yapping idiots. Yapping
The
morons.
yapping idiot. The yapping
idiot.
morons. But yeah, bro, we're still going.
Sounds
we're
from the box.
We're about sounds from the box. Shut the hell. All right.
that is such a good name, though.
Fuck
Sounds
you.
from the
I'm
box.
calling
That
it that now. If you ever hate that
Let's
name in the
go!
future, that's what it's being.
Yeah.
Sounds from the box. If I ever do a podcast, that's what it's gonna be. If you don't like the name, blame Mars. Anyways, thank you guys so much
It's an
for
epic
watching.
name. You should love it.
Make sure to smash that
Any-
like button.
Are
Make
there
sure to
any
get me
final
to
thoughts on like
30,000
digital circus
subscribers
stuff?
by next
Anything
week.
y'all want to go like yap to or yap about? If anything, worst case scenario, we just do another.
All I'm gonna say, because of this series, I made the most amazing friends in the entire 3 years, and I could not be more grateful for meeting Soundbox, for meeting Snoopy, for meeting all of those people, and you guys mean so much to me, and you guys have given me so many opportunities, and I cannot be more grateful for everything you guys have, the chances you guys have given me, and I know there's no way I could ever thank you guys or give you guys something back because I really want to, but I will just say, Soundbox, you are an amazing friend, and I love you, man.
I love you too, homie. Dap me up, brother. Dap me up. Come here. Dap me up. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that pretty much wraps it up. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's time to do the sellout bit. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. I bit my tongue when I said that, so it's instant karma.
Deserved.
Deserved.
Even
hit
your
the
own-
notification.
even your own-
Yeah.
Even if yourself didn't even want to do it.
I don't like doing the bit, but it's like you kind of got to remind people because they forget. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Any final thoughts from y'all goobers? Other than
Make sure you all hit that like button and subscribe and turn on the
Okay.
notifications.
Actual final thoughts.
It is 5 o'clock. If I don't go to bed soon, they're gonna be my final thoughts ever, dog. So like,
Mars, anything?
So I just want to say, like, broadly, when it comes to any piece of writing, I think it's really important to analyze it for what it is and not what you wanted it to be. You are entitled to your opinion even after that. However, I do think that a lot of people end up analyzing media from the perspective of what they wanted to see and judge it whether it's good or bad based on that. Rather, you should be judging it based on what the artist wanted to create, and how well they achieved their goals. I think that's a lot of the time very difficult to do, but I think it's the best way that we as people can analyze media and analyze art. And I think analysis is important to growth as well, especially in that channel of thought. So the one thing I want to impart is to keep in mind broader themes and ideas rather than just fixating on small things that you did or did not like. Because when you look at the complexity of something, you can find something more beautiful than you originally thought.
I'm
And
disliking
beyond that,
every episode now because of what you said.
fair enough. Anyways, beyond that, I don't
Wise
wanna
words.
go.
Wise words. Anyways, that wraps it up. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, don't die because dying is unhealthy and causes death. Five Nights at Freddy's stream this Wednesday. We're gonna be beating the shit out of Afton.
Wednesday?
Wednesday, yes, that's how it's spelled. Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday at 3 p.m. EST. So make sure to be there. We are going to be beating the shit out of Afton and trying to get the Princess Quest ending. So yeah. Thank you again so much for watching. As I said, remember, don't die because dying is nothing causes death. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye. 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 It's on normal latency.